Greetings and welcome to the Sleep Science Top 1. This evening, one finds themselves gently navigating the serene and potent realm of feelings, not merely as labels or reactions, but as unseen influences that mold your perceptions, memories, choices, and connections. Emotions transcend mere feelings. It is something that the body recalls, the mind anticipates, and the nervous system transports through each mundane moment of the day. Emotions frequently appear as unexpected guests, coming unannounced and eventually drifting away. Yet, beneath that exterior, a far more profound narrative is constantly developing. Signals emerge from the body prior to the formation of thoughts. Memories subtly tint the present. Subtle shifts direct focus, unite individuals, and at times create distance between them. Even when one feels still, emotion is gently at work, arranging the inner world like a tide moving beneath calm water. In this video, we will delve into emotions as dynamic processes rather than fleeting moods, not to dissect them, but to recognize the remarkable nature they possess. In their actions, they offer protection, weave deception, forge connections, and unveil truths, how they can seem daunting in one instant and then offer profound insight in the next. If these gentle journeys resonate with you, consider liking, subscribing, or sharing your thoughts below. It guides others to discover their path here as well, one drowsy spirit at a time. For the moment, the only thing required of you is to unwind. As the body relaxes, the eyes become heavy, and the mind begins to unwind. A journey into this captivating world unfolds. Let us commence. Gentle breaths can soothe the nervous system in just a matter of minutes. The breath serves as one of the rare direct connections to one's own physiology. A slow, gentle exhale quietly whispers safety to your nervous system, allowing tension to melt away like morning mist under soft sunlight. A slow, gentle exhale quietly whispers safety to your nervous system, allowing tension to melt away like morning mist under soft sunlight. It is for this reason that individuals naturally exhale deeply following a moment of tension. The sigh embodies more than mere emotion. It serves as a means of regulation. By exhaling slowly, one disrupts the cycle in which rapid breathing signals to the brain that there is a problem, subsequently intensifying feelings of anxiety. Altering the rhythm disrupts the cycle. The soothing influence may initially seem understated, akin to releasing pressure from an unseen gas pedal. Gradually, the shoulders relax, and the mind finds tranquility. This holds significant strength, as it does not depend on ideal conditions. It can be accomplished in a bustling room, within the confines of a car, or while lying awake during the quiet hours of the night. It is a seemingly minor act that carries an unexpectedly significant impact. As the exhale stretches out, the body becomes attentive. Your mind can paint scenes so vividly that the body responds as if they were unfolding right now, turning quiet imagination into a gentle wave of real feeling. The mind perceives a vividly imagined scene as a practice run, and such practice can influence the body. Imagine entering a room where all eyes divert and a familiar knot forms in your stomach, as though the moment has already unfolded. Envision a cherished person returning home, and a sense of warmth envelops you, akin to a genuine hug. This is due to the fact that emotion arises from meaning rather than solely from facts. The nervous system reacts to what it perceives as significant, and a compelling inner narrative can seem sufficiently pertinent. The influence of that power reveals how worry can escalate in the absence of new evidence, while hope can provide stability even before circumstances shift. It further elucidates the reasons behind the emotional impact that stories and films can have, often leading to tears. The narrative unfolds with your body playing a vital role. Upon this realization, one starts to perceive imagination as a means of empowerment rather than merely a snare. The same ability that drives anxiety can equally drive courage, preparation, and comfort. Daydreaming has the power to alter one's mood, as it allows for the exploration of both aspirations and anxieties. A daydream can sometimes serve as a deeper connection to reality. At times, the steering wheel remains silent. The mind wanders into a future dialogue, where confidence blooms even before a word is uttered. Or it meanders toward an impending catastrophe, leaving you with a sense of foreboding even before anything transpires. The mind engages in rehearsing possibilities, and this rehearsal carries emotional repercussions. That is why one can emerge from a few minutes of wandering thought feeling either heavier or lighter, without understanding the reason behind it. Daydreaming may transform into an unseen space of learning. The same imagined scenes are repeated, causing the mind to cease recognizing them as familiar paths, facilitating the transition into specific moods. This can be beneficial when envisioning a challenge unfolding positively, allowing your body to cultivate a sense of steadiness. Replaying a humiliation can be detrimental, as it teaches the body to experience dread. What quietly draws the attention here is the fact that daydreams frequently appear innocuous due to their quiet nature. These sessions can evoke deep emotions, influencing the essence of tomorrow even before it unfolds. An identical occurrence can evoke contrasting feelings in various individuals. Two individuals may experience the same rainstorm, yet emerge with profoundly distinct inner landscapes. One experiences a sense of renewal, while the other finds themselves ensnared. This situation does not arise from a matter of right or wrong. Emotions are influenced by how they are interpreted, the history behind them, and the expectations that accompany them. A surprise party can evoke feelings of affection for an individual who seeks the spotlight, while it may induce anxiety in someone who dislikes being the center of attention. Even commendation can resonate in unexpected ways. For one individual, it seems like acknowledgement. On the other hand, it seems to carry a weight of expectation. The brain does not respond solely to events. It responds to the significance of the event for you. Drawing from the insights gained, one can anticipate the unfolding events that lie ahead. The meaning may emerge from the patterns of childhood, the pressures of recent experiences, or the societal norms dictating acceptable emotions. This is why grasping emotion frequently demands a sense of curiosity rather than a stance of judgment. A single moment can convey an entirely different meaning within another nervous system. Vast wonder feeling has the power to diminish one's sense of self, while simultaneously fostering a deeper connection to those around them. Wonder is the feeling that arises when faced with something too immense for your typical understanding. It may emerge from the vastness of a night sky, the majesty of a towering mountain, the beauty of a choral voice, or a gesture of kindness so genuine that it breaks through your skepticism. In that moment, the self may seem diminished, not out of shame, but rather in a liberating sense, akin to taking a step back from a magnified reflection. Vast wonder feeling is often characterized as both calming and humbling, as it has the power to shift one's priorities. Minor concerns diminish, and focus transitions to being part of something greater. Experiencing vast wonder feeling can enhance one's generosity and cooperation, as the sensation of being part of a larger whole seems to foster a greater willingness to care for others within that context. It is intriguing how an emotion evoked by the enormity of the world can unite individuals. Vast wonder feeling does not compel one to act in the same way that anger or fear does. It beckons for guidance. It suggests, take another look. The universe extends far beyond the narrative you currently inhabit. The brain has the ability to make decisions prior to the conscious experience of emotion. Long before one can articulate the unfolding events, the nervous system has already begun to select a path. Subtle changes in breathing, muscle tension, and focus can start to unfold quietly, akin to a backstage crew adjusting the set before the performance begins. That is why one might occasionally become aware of a tight jaw, elevated shoulders, or a sinking stomach, only to later recognize the feelings of anxiety or irritation that accompany them. A significant portion of this arises from rapid pattern recognition, as the mind juxtaposes the current experience with archived templates of previous instances. When the match hints at peril, denial, or gain, your body instinctively readies itself, while the narrative unfolds in due time. This can evoke a sense of eeriness, as if you are arriving after the moment has passed you by. Yet, it also serves as a shield. It signifies a design that allows for swift reactions, followed by contemplation. The mind has the ability to create emotions that correspond to mysterious physical sensations. When a strong signal emanates from the body and the mind struggles to identify the cause, it frequently conjures an explanation: a sudden flutter in the chest, a tightness in the throat, and an unusual warmth spreading across the face. These sensations seek clarity, for the mind has little tolerance for enigmas dwelling within the body. It surveys the surroundings, the time of day, the previous exchange, and constructs a narrative that aligns perfectly. The narrative can transform into the emotion you believe you are experiencing, even when the initial feeling stemmed from something straightforward, such as caffeine, tiredness, or residual adrenaline. This is how one can stroll into a seemingly pleasant afternoon, only to be struck by an inexplicable sense of unease, prompting a halt in the quest for the source of discomfort. The mind is not engaged in trickery. It endeavors to bring clarity to the body. Upon recognizing this, one may take a moment to pause and pose an alternative question. Rather than focusing on what is amiss, one might consider what signal emerged initially, and if it genuinely pertains to the present moment. Before grasping the meaning of words, babies have the ability to discern emotional tone. Prior to the arrival of language, an infant exists in a realm filled with emotions. The essence is conveyed through pitch, rhythm, volume, and the subtle pauses that exist between sounds. A soothing tone can calm a restless figure, whereas a piercing remark can induce an unexpected tranquility, even if the words hold no meaning for them. That early sensitivity transcends mere manners. The narrative focuses on survival. As the tone indicates the current safety of the world, one can observe the unfolding events as they occur. The caregiver's steady rhythm serves as a reassuring support, directing both breath and focus. In time, as communication flourishes, the initial responses of many individuals often focus on the tone rather than the substance of what is being conveyed. That is why a person may express the correct sentiment, but in an inappropriate manner, leading to pain nonetheless. Long before vocabulary becomes familiar, the emotional resonance beneath it unfolds for us. One can experience two opposing feelings simultaneously. The human heart is not merely a solitary, unremarkable path. One can experience pride and fear simultaneously. One can appreciate the transformation while also lamenting what has been lost. One can harbor profound love for another while simultaneously experiencing intense anger towards them. This is not a lack of choice. It is intricate. The various regions of the brain and body may assess the same circumstance with distinct priorities, subsequently transmitting a range of emotional signals simultaneously. The outcome may evoke a sense of bewilderment, as if caught between opposing forces. Yet, it also indicates that you are perceiving multiple truths simultaneously. During transitions, such as moving, graduating, becoming a parent, or closing a chapter once desired, a blend of emotions frequently emerges. They may evoke discomfort as they challenge straightforward narratives. However, they also have the ability to shield you from extremes. When joy intertwines with fear, one approaches with meticulous preparation. When sadness intertwines with relief, the path to recovery quickens. Conflicting emotions serve a purpose within the system. They represent the framework attempting to convey the complete essence of a moment. Delighting in experiences amplifies joy by focusing awareness on positive moments. Enjoyment amplifies joy by prolonging focus on positive experiences. The mind chooses to hold on to a delightful experience, savoring the nuances of texture, warmth, and significance, rather than allowing it to fade away in an instant. A satisfying meal transforms into something greater than mere sustenance. A compliment transforms into something greater than mere sound. A tranquil afternoon transforms into something of greater significance. This lingering does not equate to a denial of life's challenges. It involves conditioning the mind to completely acknowledge what exists in the present. Without savoring, happiness can exist, yet it remains fleeting, akin to a spark that fails to ignite. With savoring, the spark is given the opportunity to shine brightly. Individuals indulge in various manners. A moment is recounted to a friend. Some take a moment to acknowledge the sensations within their bodies. Some capture a mental image and revisit it in due time. The intriguing aspect is that relishing also transforms memory. As attention deepens, moments are etched more vividly, facilitating access during challenging times. To savor is to embrace the moment fully. It transforms ephemeral goodness into enduring sustenance. Rituals possess the ability to calm anxiety through the establishment of familiar and predictable sequences. Rituals have the power to calm anxiety through the establishment of familiar routines. In times of uncertainty, a familiar pattern reassures the nervous system, offering a sense of reliability amidst chaos. Cleaning your face in the same manner each evening, preparing tea in a well-known sequence, setting up a desk prior to starting the workday. These actions establish a modest realm of influence. In this instance, the sense of comfort transcends mere superstition. It is a cadence. The brain's need to scan for danger diminishes with predictability as the next step becomes clear. Rituals serve as markers of change. A bedtime ritual signals to the body that the day's exertions are concluding and that it is time to embrace rest. A morning ritual conveys to the body that the act of waking is both secure and orderly. This illustrates how even the simplest rituals can provide a sense of comfort. The focus shifts from the objects themselves to the unfolding sequence. The intriguing aspect is that rituals can hold significance as well. Illuminating a candle, whispering a gentle phrase, or inhaling deeply can transform into a unique expression of comfort. During times of uncertainty, that language can provide a sense of stability. Dehydration has the potential to heighten feelings of irritability, often occurring prior to the sensation of thirst. The final call often comes in the form of thirst rather than the initial signal. Before one becomes aware of a dry mouth, mild dehydration may already be influencing their mood. One might experience a sense of increased fogginess, heightened irritability, or a diminished capacity to endure noise and disruptions. This is due to water's role in supporting fundamental brain functions, facilitating the seamless transmission of signals that maintain a balance between attention and emotion. As hydration levels decrease, the brain exerts more effort to accomplish the same tasks, and this additional strain may manifest as irritability. One might find themselves feeling more tense on a hot day, even if the reason remains elusive. The body, in its silent efforts to manage temperature and maintain fluid balance, finds itself with diminished capacity for emotional adaptability. The challenging aspect lies in the fact that the irritability may seem to stem from the circumstances rather than from one's own physical state. One might find fault with the congestion, the messages, the crowd. Then one drinks water, and the world takes on a subtly more forgiving nature. It is striking how frequently mood is influenced by a straightforward physical factor lurking beneath the narrative. Disgust developed in part as a defense mechanism against unseen pathogens. Disgust is frequently regarded as an impolite emotion, yet it serves as one of the body's most ancient protectors. It guides you away from unseen threats, protecting you from potential harm. Foul odors, slick textures, the essence of decay, and particular flavors can provoke an instinctive withdrawal. Before there is an opportunity for contemplation, that response transcends mere theatrics. It revolves around the quest to prevent contamination in a realm where microbes were once enigmatic threats. The intrigue of disgust lies in its ability to transcend the realm of food. Individuals can experience a sense of moral disgust, where certain behaviors evoke a feeling of contamination, despite the absence of any physical threat of infection. This implies that the brain employs similar protective mechanisms for social boundaries as it does for biological ones. This has the potential to be beneficial, yet it may also backfire, transforming innocent distinctions into sentiments of aversion. Disgust holds immense power as it communicates through the body's own language. It does not seek to convince you. It seeks to evoke a response within you. A solitary facial expression can ripple through a crowd in mere seconds. The expression of one individual can serve as a beacon, prompting responses from others even before words are exchanged. A smile frequently elicits a corresponding smile from those nearby, not as mere imitation, but as an instinctive response. An expression of concern can spread through a crowd, causing people to glance around and tense up, much like a breeze sweeping through a field of tall grass. This occurs as humans are naturally equipped to perceive and replicate subtle muscle movements, particularly around the eyes and mouth, at speeds that surpass conscious thought. The outcome is a profound emotional descent, resembling a social climate where collective moods fluctuate. Within the confines of a theater, the sound of laughter can amplify as individuals share the joy, each one igniting the next in a delightful chain reaction. During a tense meeting, a single piercing look can silence the entire room. Your expression transcends mere private information. This event has the potential to transform the behavior of the entire community. Exploring emotions through writing has been shown in certain studies to enhance health indicators. When emotions remain confined, they frequently cycle, replaying the same moments without finding closure. Writing has the power to break that cycle, transforming chaos into a coherent narrative. Events are arranged in sequence, causes and effects are linked, and a narrative emerges that feels more whole. In various studies, individuals who documented their stressful experiences exhibited alterations in specific health-related metrics over time, indicating that expressing oneself may alleviate physical strain. The act of writing transcends mere confession. It is currently being processed. It has the ability to convert unclear discomfort into precise significance, thereby facilitating a calmer state for the nervous system. The act of writing establishes a personal observer. One can express the truth without being concerned about how others will respond. Unexpected honesty can emerge from that freedom, often marking the beginning of relief. What quietly draws the attention here is how ink on paper can transform into a physiological experience. A few paragraphs can alter one's breathing, heart rate, and muscle tension. It is as though the body has finally come to understand that it is permitted to release something. Your body may begin to weep even before your mind comprehends the reason behind it. Emotions can often lead to new beginnings rather than conclusions. At times, they come ahead of others, akin to an urgent message, marked for immediate attention and brought directly to the forefront. One might find themselves observing an ordinary moment, listening to a familiar tune, or standing in a long-forgotten location. And in an instant, emotions swell within them. Only afterward does significance come together. This occurs as tears are linked to profound mechanisms that handle overwhelm, bonding, and liberation. One's body has the ability to recognize a moment's emotional significance, even if the conscious mind has yet to articulate it in words. Emotions can serve as a natural interruption to rising stress levels, altering breathing patterns and muscle tension, functioning almost like an innate reset mechanism. Crying can evoke a sense of confusion, followed by an unexpected relief. It is not a sign of weakness seeping through. Your nervous system is performing a time-honored task, safeguarding you from the burden of carrying too much at once. Certain feelings become clearer once you acquire the vocabulary to express them. Before a feeling receives a name, it can manifest like the weather within, undeniably present yet difficult to articulate. One might feel a sense of tension, restlessness, or an indistinct ache, yet find it difficult to articulate the nature of these sensations. Then one discovers a word like envy, vast wonder feeling, or homesickness, and all at once, the experience becomes simpler to grasp. While naming does not conjure emotions from thin air, it has the power to refine and define them into a distinct form. It provides a means for the mind to grasp, a method to differentiate the emotion from others, and identify what incites it. This is one reason individuals frequently experience a sense of understanding when they encounter the perfect word at the perfect moment. It transforms uncertainty into understanding. Language has the capacity to enrich one's emotional existence. As one becomes aware of subtle differences, they begin to recognize these nuances within themselves. Your choices may shift, as you cannot engage with what remains unrecognized. An identified emotion transforms into a presence you can encounter face to face, rather than an elusive feeling that passes through you without a name. The build-up often surpasses the satisfaction that follows. The moments leading up to something significant are often charged with a unique energy. A journey, a gathering, a present, a fresh beginning. The anticipation can resemble the sensation of teetering on the brink of a wave. The mind crafts the future ahead of time, savoring it before it unfolds. It envisions faces, scenes, and outcomes, and that envisioned version can be meticulously crafted to captivate you. Then the genuine moment arrives, marked by its everyday textures and flaws, and it may seem diminished compared to the dream. This does not imply that the reward was unsuccessful. It signifies that expectation serves as a distinct emotional force, fueled by the potential of what could be. The potential knows no bounds, allowing it to expand tremendously. This explains the effectiveness of surprises, the dramatic nature of countdowns, and the challenges of exercising patience. The emotional energy of your nervous system is already being consumed by a future that has yet to arrive. Upon this realization, one can begin to appreciate anticipation as a genuine experience, rather than merely a period of waiting. When one individual takes the time to speak more slowly, a sense of calm can spread to those around them. In a tense moment, altering the tempo is frequently the quickest method to transform the atmosphere of the room. When an individual articulates their thoughts at a measured pace, allowing for pauses between phrases, it conveys a silent assurance that time is abundant. The message has the potential to diminish the sense of urgency among all those who are listening. Individuals start to take deeper breaths, often without awareness. The mind ceases its frantic pace and begins to stroll. Speaking slowly also diminishes the likelihood of misunderstandings. It beckons for attention rather than insisting upon it. This explains why those who offer comfort tend to speak softly. It is not merely an act of kindness, but rather a way to help another's nervous system find its balance. The captivating aspect lies in its tangible nature. Calm transcends mere choice. It embodies a deeper essence. It is a state that one can adopt from the rhythm of another. The measured cadence of speech transforms into a collective rhythm. It assists a group in rediscovering their rhythm, and as the tempo decelerates, solutions that once eluded them at a rapid pace often come into view. The effects of a placebo can transform genuine emotions into mere expectations. Anticipation transcends mere thought. It has the potential to transform into a physical directive. When individuals hold the belief that a pill, ritual, or treatment will be beneficial, their brains can alter perception, pain, and emotion in quantifiable ways, even if the substance itself is inert. This does not imply that the individual is feigning anything. This indicates that the brain's ability to predict is strong enough to shape experiences from a higher level downwards. When the mind anticipates relief, it has the power to diminish threat signals and alter the interpretation of sensations. This is why the reassurance of a trusted doctor can bring a sense of physical calm, and why a comforting routine can help make discomfort more manageable. The belief healing response serves as a poignant reminder that the essence of meaning can take on a form akin to medicine. When credibility, care, and confidence envelop the same action, its impact can resonate more profoundly. This does not justify overlooking genuine treatment. It serves as a reminder to honor the mind's capacity to enhance its convictions. Your expectations can integrate into the very fabric of your nervous system's experience. Feelings alter your perception, transforming hues, intensity, and intricacies. The eyes gather light, yet it is the emotions that shape what that light transforms into. In moments of tension, one's focus tends to narrow, fixating on sharp edges, swift movements, and looming issues, which can render the world more unforgiving and pressing. In moments of safety and contentment, one might observe the finer details, the warmth of familiar faces, and the delicate patterns that often go unnoticed. Reality remains constant. Your mind is directing its finite focus in a different manner. This explains how a once familiar room can appear oddly transformed following a distressing phone call, or how an everyday street can suddenly radiate with brightness and potential after receiving uplifting news. Emotion is not merely an embellishment added to perception. It serves as a crucial component in the construction of perception from the very beginning. The inner state serves as a lens, subtly shifting the focus on what holds significance. In moments of fear, the world around becomes amplified, as even the faintest sounds take on an unexpected significance. Fear is not solely a catalyst for flight. It has the power to captivate your attention as if your very existence hinges on it. A subtle creak, a far-off footstep, a gentle click that would typically go unnoticed can suddenly command the focus of one's awareness. In perilous situations, the mind has the ability to amplify the significance of sound, allowing one to sense danger without the necessity of sight. That is why silence can seem overwhelming when fear takes hold. The hearing transforms into a radar, meticulously scanning for clues and constructing a map from fragments. This can prove beneficial in genuinely perilous circumstances, yet it also sheds light on why restless nights may seem plagued by commonplace sounds. The hum of the refrigerator transforms into a cautionary signal. The establishment of a home transforms into a matter of significance. Fear transcends mere emotion. It represents a complete state that sharpens one's instincts for survival, occasionally exceeding the intended goal. Love and grief intertwine, activating interconnected networks, akin to two inseparable twins of safe bond signal. Affection is frequently characterized by a sense of warmth, while sorrow is depicted as a chilling void. However, both emotions originate from a shared foundation. Both revolve around safe bond signal, that profound connection which allows another individual to become integral to your sense of stability. When that bond exists, the system finds a sense of safety and belonging, allowing it to relax. When threatened or broken, the bond transforms into pain, as the mind relentlessly seeks what once existed. Grief encompasses a tapestry of emotions, weaving together longing, vivid memories, and unexpected sensations of the person's presence. Despite the awareness of their absence, it remains a connection, continuing its purpose, extending its reach. This intersection is also the reason love can seem fragile. The deeper the connection, the more intense the concern when it falters. In a subtle manner, sorrow unveils the true strength of connection, as it highlights what the body perceives as home. One can experience an emotion for just a fleeting moment. Some feelings are so ephemeral that they disappear before one can grasp them, akin to a spark in the darkness. A brief moment of irritation, a sudden spark of joy, a slight twinge of fear can traverse your face and body in the blink of an eye, quicker than one can articulate. These swift emotions frequently manifest as abrupt shifts in posture, a sudden constriction around the eyes, or a sharp inhale that quickly settles. One might only perceive the lingering aftertaste, akin to a subtle echo of an unnamed mood. This is significant, as those fleeting instances can still influence decisions. A fleeting moment of aversion can lead one to reject a concept entirely. A fleeting moment of curiosity can draw you closer. It is a common belief among many that emotions need to be grand in order to hold authenticity. Yet, the emotional landscape is composed of subtle cues, perpetually guiding your path. Even when these shifts are nearly imperceptible, laughter serves as a timeless social signal, transcending mere reaction. Humor transcends mere jokes. At times, it seems that when individuals experience nervousness, relief, or a profound connection, the sound itself takes on a purpose. Within the confines of a group, laughter serves as a reassuring signal of safety, a comforting presence amidst the unpredictability of the outside world. It has the ability to ease tension, reduce barriers, and foster intimacy without requiring extensive clarification. That is why a single laugh can light up a space. The sound invites all to unwind together in harmony. Joyful sounds also convey messages of inclusion. Individuals often find themselves laughing more in the company of others than when they are by themselves, even when identical phrases are uttered. It serves as a profound connection, weaving through the essence of breath and the pulse of rhythm. As it becomes increasingly difficult to maintain a facade for an extended period, laughter frequently serves as a beacon of authenticity. When it is genuine, it conveys to the body and the collective that there is something in this moment worthy of trust. Certain individuals experience the emotions of others with a vividness akin to physical sensations. For many, empathy serves as a mental connection, envisioning the emotions that another person may be experiencing. Yet, for certain individuals, that bridge is so immediate it can evoke a profound sensation. The wince of another could evoke a subtle ache within oneself. Observing an injury can evoke a true sense of unease, extending beyond mere sympathy. This transcends mere imagination. It is an unusual form of connection, where witnessing an emotion or a sensation can evoke a resonance within the observer. The atmosphere in crowded places can become emotionally draining, as the space transforms into a symphony of unspoken cues. It can also render kindness an inescapable response, as distress remains ever present. It approaches. This reveals a deep insight into human nature. Our minds are not closed off from the world. These creations are crafted to evoke a deep connection. Even when we do not physically experience the emotions of others, we are inherently designed to be affected by one another in ways that often go unacknowledged. Emotional tears are composed of different chemicals compared to reflex tears. Not every tear serves the same purpose. Reflex tears cleanse and shield the eyes from smoke, wind, or an errant eyelash. Emotional tears arise from a unique form of pressure, the kind that accumulates within a narrative. Researchers have discovered distinctions in the emotional weight that tears can convey, as opposed to the simple function of protective tears, indicating that the body's role extends beyond merely cleansing the eye. It engages in a more intricate endeavor. Emotional release through tears can alter one's breathing patterns, ease muscle tightness, and transform the entire nervous system towards a state of relaxation. That is why a good cry can leave one feeling drained, yet oddly clearer. Emotional tears convey a message as well. They serve as tangible evidence that something held significance enough to spill over, and that this visibility can offer solace from others in ways that words may occasionally fall short. Even in solitude, tears can carry meaning and significance. It indicates to your mind that the moment holds importance, facilitating the flow of intense emotions throughout the body, rather than confining them within. A sense of belonging has the potential to reduce stress hormones when faced with difficult tasks. Belonging serves as an unseen support system, providing comfort to your anxious mind. When you feel accepted, your body often handles difficulty with less panic, because it expects support if things go wrong. A challenging job interview takes on a different atmosphere when you are aware that someone present is cheering you on. A child often attempts bolder actions when a trusted adult is present. Belonging does not erase effort, but it changes the cost of effort. The body spends less energy defending itself and more energy performing. Even subtle cues can create this effect, like being remembered, being included in a small joke, or hearing your name said with warmth. Those moments tell the brain you are not alone in the challenge. What makes belonging so powerful is that it turns stress from a personal threat into a shared experience. The task is still hard, but the world feels less hostile while you do it. Your gut and heart send emotional signals upward, not just downward. It is easy to picture emotions as thoughts that trickle into the body, but the traffic goes both ways. Your heart rhythm, breathing pattern, and the sensations of your stomach are constantly reporting back to the brain. Those signals help shape what you interpret as calm, excitement, dread, or safety. That is why a fluttering chest can make a neutral moment feel intense, and why a steady, slow breath can make problems feel more manageable. The brain uses these internal cues as ingredients when it builds a feeling. Some scientists call this inner body awareness, your sense of what is happening inside you. It can be, surprisingly, influential. A small shift in bodily state can tilt your emotional meaning-making without you noticing the source. This is one reason emotions can feel like they come from nowhere. Sometimes the first clue was already in your pulse, quietly speaking upward. Smell can trigger emotion faster than most other senses. A scent can hit like a hidden doorway. You catch it for a heartbeat, and suddenly you are not only remembering a place, you are feeling inside it. The air itself seems to carry the mood, whether it is comfort, dread, or a strange sweetness you cannot explain. Smell has a direct route into memory and feeling, which is why it can bypass the polite, logical part of the mind that usually filters reactions. One whiff of sunscreen can pull up summer heat and childhood freedom. A hint of disinfectant can summon a hospital corridor you thought you left behind. What makes this so uncanny is how immediate it is. You do not choose the memory. You do not plan the emotion. The body responds, as if the past is briefly present again. Smell is time travel without pictures, and it often arrives before you can even identify what you smelled. Past glow recall can boost pain tolerance in controlled experiments. Past glow recall is not only a warm feeling. In some studies, remembering a meaningful past can make discomfort easier to endure. It is as if the mind, when it revisits a moment of belonging, lends the body a little extra steadiness. This matters because pain is not only a signal from nerves, it is also shaped by attention, meaning, and emotional context. When past glow recall brings a sense of being cared for or connected, the brain may treat the present as less threatening, and that can change how intensely pain is experienced. You can sense this effect in everyday life too. People often reach for old songs, childhood foods, or familiar scents when they are stressed, not just for comfort, but for resilience. Past glow recall can feel like a soft inner shelter, and under that shelter, the body sometimes copes better than expected. Anger can briefly raise confidence, even when you are wrong. Anger can feel like clarity, which is why it is so persuasive. When it rises, it tightens your focus and pushes your mind towards certainty. You may feel taller inside your own thoughts, ready to argue, decide, and act. The tricky part is that confidence is not the same as accuracy. Anger can make weak ideas feel strong, and shaky assumptions feel obvious. It can also make you underestimate risks, because the emotional message is simple. Move forward. Do not hesitate. That is why arguments can escalate quickly. Each person feels more sure as the heat rises, even when the truth is complicated. Yet anger is not pointless. It often appears when a boundary feels crossed or something important feels threatened. The skill is learning to treat anger like an alarm, not a verdict. It can tell you something matters without proving you are right. Anxiety can make time feel slower, stretching seconds into long moments. When anxiety arrives, the present can feel oddly expanded, like every sound and movement takes longer than it should. Waiting for a reply, hearing footsteps behind you, watching a door that might open. The mind fills each second with monitoring. Part of this comes from heightened vigilance. Your attention is scanning for outcomes, and that constant checking creates the sensation of a longer interval. Anxiety also pulls you into prediction. The brain rehearses what might happen next, and those imagined futures crowd the moment until it feels heavy and stretched. This is why anxious experiences can feel exhausting even when nothing occurs. Time becomes thick with possibilities. The strange twist is that this slow-motion feeling can make anxiety more convincing. If the moment feels long and intense, it must be important. Right. Understanding this can be freeing. Sometimes the slowing of time is not a warning about reality. It is a symptom of the mind overworking the present. Sadness can narrow attention, making small details feel enormous. Sadness can turn the mind into a quiet spotlight that refuses to widen. A single phrase, a small mistake, a minor disappointment can swell until it seems to explain everything. This narrowing is not just mood. It can be a kind of inward focusing that keeps you close to what hurts, almost as if the brain is insisting you examine the loss from every angle. In that state, the world can feel dimmer and simpler because the mind is conserving energy and pulling you away from the noise of possibilities. Yet there is something strangely purposeful about this narrowing. Sadness often follows change, separation, or unmet longing, and it can slow you down enough to register what mattered. That is why sadness can arrive with unexpected clarity about values and safe bond signals. It is not pleasant, but it can be meaningful. The danger comes when the spotlight never lifts and the small detail becomes a permanent story. Joy can widen attention, helping you notice more possibilities. Joy is not only a feeling, it is a shift in how the world is scanned. When you are joyful, your mind tends to open outward. You notice options, patterns, and connections that might be invisible in a tense state. A stranger's face looks friendlier. A problem looks more solvable. A new idea feels worth exploring. This widening effect matters because creativity and learning often depend on seeing beyond the obvious. Joy can loosen the grip of threat and give your brain permission to roam. That is one reason playful moods can lead to surprising solutions. People are more willing to experiment when the emotional atmosphere feels safe. Joy also spreads because openness invites openness. A small laugh can make others relax their guard, and suddenly the whole room has more room in it. Joy does not erase reality. It changes what you think is possible inside reality. Relief can feel like pleasure because danger signals finally stop. Relief is a quiet celebration your body throws when it realizes it can stand down. The jaw unclenches, the breath drops lower, the chest loosens. Sometimes there is even a small laugh, not because something is funny, but because the system is releasing pressure. Relief can feel surprisingly good, almost like a reward, because it marks the end of alarm. Your nervous system has beam, spending energy preparing for impact, and then suddenly it is told, you are safe. That shift can create a wave of warmth, lightness, or even dizziness, as if the body is adjusting to a new world. Relief also teaches, when a feared outcome does not happen, the brain updates its predictions, at least a little. This is why reassurance feels so strong in the moment, yet so temporary later. Relief is not just the absence of fear. It is the sensation of returning to yourself. Your brain can mislabel excitement as fear when your heart races. Your body has only so many ways to signal high energy, and a pounding heart is one of them. When that surge arrives, your mind rushes to explain it, scanning the scene for a reason. If you are stepping onto a stage, meeting someone new, or taking a risk, the same physical rush can be read as danger or possibility. That is why thrilling moments can feel scary, and scary moments can sometimes feel oddly electric. The label you land on changes everything. If you call it fear, you might shrink back and search for exits. If you call it excitement, you lean forward and look for opportunities. This is not positive thinking. It is meaning-making at speed. With practice, some people learn to treat the racing heart as a neutral engine, then choose the story that fits their goals instead of their worries. People often mimic smiles without noticing they are doing it. A smile is not only something you give, it is something your nervous system catches. In conversation, tiny facial movements can echo back and forth like a quiet handshake, syncing two people without either one deciding to do it. That is why a warm cashier can lift your mood in seconds, even if you never exchange names. Your face is reading their face and answering before your thoughts arrive. This mirroring can soften tension, build trust, and signal that you are safe to be around. It can also reveal when something feels off. If someone smiles and your face does not respond, your body may be detecting mismatch or threat. Mirroring is one reason emotions feel contagious in groups. It is not magic. It is muscle and attention cooperating at high speed. You are constantly learning how others feel by becoming, briefly and subtly, a version of their expression. Music can reliably summon goosebump thrill by breaking and resolving patterns. Goosebump thrill often arrive at the exact moment a song does something unexpected, then land safely again. A voice swells beyond what you predicted. A harmony shifts into a new color. A pause stretches just long enough to make your body hold its breath. Your brain is a prediction machine, always guessing what comes next, and music is a playground for those guesses. When a piece violates your expectation in a beautiful way, attention spikes and emotion rises, like stepping onto a stair you did not know was there. Then, when the music resolves, your system releases that tension as a wave of sensation. For some people, it travels up the arms or across the scalp, a physical signature of meaning. Goosebump thrill are not only about sound, they are about surprise, release, and the feeling that something invisible just clicked into place inside you. Emotional memories can feel vivid even when details are inaccurate. A memory can glow with certainty while quietly rearranging the facts. You might remember the exact feeling of a moment, the tightness in your chest or the rush of relief, yet misplace who said what, which door was open, or what time it happened. That is because memory is not a recording. It is a reconstruction built to preserve meaning, especially emotional meaning. When you recall an event, your brain stitches together fragments with your current beliefs, your current mood, and the story you have repeated over the years. The emotion acts like a spotlight that keeps certain elements bright while other elements fade into shadow. This can be unsettling, but it also shows what memory is for. It is designed to guide you, to warn you, to teach you what mattered, even if it sacrifices perfect accuracy. The feeling may be true, even when the details drift. Stress can switch your body into a fuel-saving survival mode. When stress stays high, your body starts acting like resources are scarce. It prioritizes immediate needs, quick energy, and readiness for challenge, even if you are only sitting at a desk. Systems that are not urgent can get dialed down, because survival mode is expensive. That is why prolonged stress can affect sleep, digestion, and the sense of having mental space. It can feel as if your body is bracing for an emergency that never arrives. The strange part is that this mode can become familiar. Your nervous system learns the pattern and keeps returning to it like a default setting. Small problems begin to feel like big threats because the body is already geared up. The hopeful part is that the switch can move the other way too. Repeated signals of safety, like steady routines and genuine rest, can teach the body it is allowed to spend energy on recovery again. Blushing is one of the few emotions that announces itself on skin. Blushing can feel like betrayal because it shows your inner state without asking your permission. A flush spreads across the face and neck, broadcasting that something just mattered to you. It can happen with embarrassment, attraction, praise, or sudden attention. The interesting twist is that this involuntary signal can build trust. When people see someone blush after a mistake, they often read it as sincerity, a sign the person understands the social line they crossed. That makes blushing a strange kind of social repair. Your body is telling the group, "I know, I care, I am not ignoring this." Of course, blushing can also be unfair because it can appear even when you have done nothing wrong, simply because you feel watched. Still, it reveals something powerful about emotion. Some feelings are not only private experiences. They are biological announcements that shape how others respond to you. Emotional intensity can rise even when the cause fades away. Sometimes the trigger is gone, yet your body keeps climbing. A harsh comment was hours ago, but your chest still burns. A near miss on the road is over, but your hands are still shaky. This happens because emotions can feed themselves through attention. The mind replays the scene, imagines alternate endings, or scans for signs it might happen again. Each replay can refresh the feeling, like striking a match repeatedly. The body also takes time to come down from high arousal. Hormones and adrenaline do not vanish instantly just because you want them to. That lag can make it feel like the emotion has a mind of its own. But there is meaning in this too. Emotional intensity rising after an event can be your system trying to learn, to protect, to prevent repeat harm. The key is noticing when the replay is serving you and when it is only stoking the fire. When you step out of the loop, the intensity often begins to follow. A warm drink can subtly increase feelings of social warmth. Holding warmth in your hands can quietly change how you judge the world. A mug of tea is not only comfort in a simple way, it can nudge your brain toward interpreting people as friendlier and safer. The mind uses bodily cues as evidence, and warmth often means closeness, shelter, and care in the human story. That link begins early, when heat is associated with being held and protected. Later, the same physical sensation can echo into social perception without you noticing the leap. This does not mean a hot drink forces kindness. It means your brain is willing to borrow meaning from the body when it is making quick decisions. The fascinating part is how ordinary this is. We think our judgments come from careful reasoning, yet tiny physical cues can tilt our first impressions. Warmth in the hands can become warmth in interpretation, like a small lantern changing the color of a room. Physical pain and social rejection share overlapping alarm circuitry. Being excluded can hurt in a way that feels strangely physical, and that is not poetic language. The brain uses some of the same inner alarms for bodily injury and for social threat, because being cast out once carried real survival risk. Imagine hearing laughter stop when you enter a room, or seeing messages go unanswered while others connect freely. The body can respond with a sinking stomach, a tight chest, a heat behind the eyes. Those sensations are not weakness. They are the nervous system treating disconnection as danger. This overlap also explains why comfort can feel medicinal. A kind message, a sincere invitation, or a steady presence can reduce distress the way rest reduces soreness. It is the alarm quieting down. Understanding this can change how you treat yourself and others. Social pain is not imaginary pain. It is an ancient warning system using the tools it already has. Uncertainty can feel worse than bad news for many people. A clear negative answer can sting, but a blank space can haunt. When you do not know what is coming, your mind keeps turning the future over like a stone, searching for sharp edges. It rehearses scenarios, checks signals, rereads conversations, and tries to control the uncontrollable by thinking harder. That effort is exhausting, and it can make uncertainty feel heavier than a confirmed disappointment. Bad news closes a door, but uncertainty keeps the hallway lit all night. You may even notice yourself preferring a definite no over an endless maybe, because certainty allows your body to stand down. The strange twist is that uncertainty can also make you misread neutral cues as threatening, since the brain would rather prepare for a storm than be surprised by one. Recognizing this pattern can be soothing. The discomfort is not proof that something terrible is coming. It may simply be the mind struggling with an open loop. Gratitude can strengthen friendships by signaling that you notice effort. Gratitude is not only a warm feeling, it is a message that says, "I saw what you did and it mattered." That message has the power to strengthen connections among individuals, transforming unseen efforts into apparent worth. Consider a person who offers you soup during your illness, takes the time to listen without any sense of urgency, or recalls a minor detail you shared in passing. When gratitude is articulated with clarity, it benefits the giver and imparts a lesson on kindness to both individuals within that relationship. It further minimizes uncertainty. Numerous friendships diminish not due to discord, but because of doubt regarding the genuine appreciation of one another. Gratitude responds in a subtle manner. It fosters an environment of awareness, where individuals feel more secure in contributing once more, as they believe their efforts will not vanish into oblivion. What quietly draws the attention here is how gratitude transforms mundane moments into something meaningful, nurturing a friendship in the quiet intervals between major happenings. It resembles illuminating a space, not through rearranging the decor, but by simply switching on a light. Envy has the potential to inspire growth or lead to destruction, influenced by the surrounding circumstances. Envy is frequently regarded in a peculiar light, yet it originates as a form of information. It signifies an aspiration, a cherished desire, a deep-seated fear of unattainability. The signal has the potential to follow two distinctly different routes. On one journey, envy serves as a guiding force. Observing another's skill, confidence, or opportunity brings clarity to one's own aspirations. It has the power to inspire you to practice, learn, and reach for an improved version of yourself. On the alternate path, envy transforms into a narrative of threat, where the achievements of another serve as evidence that you are lagging behind. In such cases, it could ignite resentment, lead to whispers behind closed doors, or even foster a hidden desire for their downfall, all in an effort to soothe your own unease. The distinction frequently hinges on one's belief in the possibility of growth. In moments of feeling confined, envy transforms into a toxic force. When one feels capable, envy transforms into a spark. It is intriguing how a single emotion has the power to shape one's future or undermine connections with others. The emotion experienced is not the ultimate result. The direction it takes is determined by your interpretation. While pride can bolster determination, an excess of it may hinder the process of learning. A subtle sense of pride can serve as a steady source of motivation, propelling you forward even when advancement feels sluggish. It signifies an important moment, emphasizing its significance and encouraging continued progress. When pride is linked to effort, it fosters perseverance and encourages a return to challenging tasks. One can sense it upon completing an extensive project, fulfilling a commitment, or mastering a skill that once appeared unattainable. Yet, pride can transform into a snare when it is linked to the need to be right, to feel superior, or to avoid seeking assistance. Then, it ceases to safeguard an image, and instead fosters development. The mind tends to lose its curiosity, as the pursuit of knowledge may unveil imperfections. Feedback starts to come across as an assault. Errors transform into dangers. Thus, pride can transform from a vibrant essence into a fierce battle. What quietly draws the attention here is the notion that pride serves to anchor one's sense of self, yet it can either solidify the identity of a learner or reinforce the identity of someone who must remain unchanged. The distinction emerges in subtle instances, such as the ability to express uncertainty without diminishing oneself. Shame drives individuals to seek concealment, even from those who offer support. Shame conveys a deeper message. suggesting that there is something inherently vast, wonder-feelinged, about you. It softly suggests that you do not belong. That is why it compels concealment. It draws you in, distancing you from eye contact, from conversation, from the very individuals who could offer you comfort. Shame transforms a minor error into a glaring flaw, creating the illusion that all eyes are drawn to a mark that seems impossible to erase. It also transforms recollection. One might find themselves revisiting that moment repeatedly, not for the sake of understanding, but rather to inflict upon themselves the belief that they are worthy of the suffering. The power of shame lies in the isolation it brings. It persuades you that, should anyone uncover the entire narrative, they would choose to look away. Yet shame often flourishes in silence, expanding in the shadows. When a person reacts with serene comprehension, the weight of shame can diminish as the anticipated rejection fails to materialize. That is why a secure connection stands out as one of the most unexpected remedies. Shame whispers for concealment. Healing frequently commences when one takes a different approach. Guilt drives the process of mending, serving as an emotional adhesive that binds people together. The weight of guilt can be burdensome, yet it possesses an unrecognized wisdom. It suggests a connection of significance. When guilt arises, it signals to the mind that one's actions have impacted another, prompting a desire to rectify the situation. The instinct to repair is one factor that allows groups to operate effectively. In the absence of guilt, apologies would become infrequent, and trust would easily crumble. With a sense of remorse, individuals come back, articulate their thoughts, mend what was broken, and reconstruct anew. The intriguing aspect is that guilt looks ahead. It focuses more on the restoration of balance than on punishment. It has the power to encourage you to mend what you have damaged, acknowledge what you concealed, or present yourself in a new light the next time around. In a sense, guilt serves as a pathway leading one back to a sense of belonging. Indeed, guilt can take on a warped form, particularly when individuals hold themselves accountable for circumstances beyond their influence. In its most constructive form, guilt serves as a signal that one's conscience is engaged and that relationships hold genuine significance. It is the emotion that expresses a desire to regain trustworthiness. Embarrassment can indicate reliability by demonstrating adherence to societal norms. It comes unexpectedly, much like a surge of heat, and can seem like the most intense spotlight imaginable. However, embarrassment serves as a subtle social cue that mends rifts. As one stumbles, forgets a name, or utters something awkward, the flush of embarrassment and the anxious grin reveal to all onlookers an awareness of the blunder. The group's rules are not being ignored by you. One is aware, and there is a sense of concern. This is significant as groups operate based on forecasts. Individuals find comfort in the presence of someone who recognizes the nuances of awkwardness, rudeness, or being out of place. Even a slight wince can convey the message, "I recognize that didn't go as planned." In numerous scenarios, the presence of embarrassment acts as a barrier to conflict, providing an immediate, unspoken apology. It has the potential to ease evaluations. The individual who appears suitably embarrassed frequently conveys a sense of honesty that surpasses that of someone who remains entirely composed. Oddly enough, that uneasy warmth can serve as a symbol of connection, demonstrating your alignment with the collective norms. Some individuals seldom engage in visualization, yet they experience emotions with great intensity. It is often believed that emotions are driven by vivid mental images, akin to replaying scenes within one's mind. Yet, there are individuals who encounter minimal or no voluntary imagery, and their emotional experiences remain vibrant. Though they might struggle to conjure a loved one's visage at will, the mere mention of their name can evoke a profound sense of tenderness. Although they might not picture a terrifying incident, their body can still respond with a racing pulse or a knot in the stomach when it comes to mind. This illustrates that emotion does not rely on internal narratives. It can be constructed from ideas, auditory experiences, physical feelings, and significance. For some, memory resembles a deep understanding rather than a mere visual, more akin to an intricate tapestry of facts and emotions than a simple image. The difference often comes as a surprise, as individuals seldom take the time to compare how their minds interpret experiences. It serves as a soft nudge, highlighting the myriad of ways one can embody humanity within. Various paths can lead to the same emotion, and each one holds its own authenticity. The impact of sleep on emotional reactivity is notable, frequently diminishing the clarity of the following day. A small amount of sleep can subtly alter the intensity of your emotions. When one is well rested, minor irritations tend to remain just that, minor. Comments that once might have stung now feel easier to bear. Challenges appear more manageable, not due to a simplification of life, but because the mind has restored its capacity to control and reinterpret. When sleep is limited or disrupted, the contrary may occur. Emotions can seem intense, swift, and more challenging to navigate. The world resonates more intensely within one's heart. This change is one factor that causes disputes to ignite more readily when individuals are fatigued. It is also the reason that anxieties seem so compelling in the early hours of the morning. Resting the body is only one aspect of sleep. This process serves to nurture the emotional system, aiding in the organization of past events, soothing the alarm response, and restoring equilibrium between impulse and control. One may continue to experience intense emotions following a restful night, yet these feelings often appear more balanced. Rest can transform a mere spark into a raging wildfire. A brief rest has the potential to enhance emotional control for numerous individuals. A short nap serves as a rejuvenating pause, particularly following a demanding morning. While it may not eliminate your challenges, it has the potential to transform the way your nervous system processes them. Following even a brief rest, numerous individuals observe that they react with greater patience and reduced irritability. Frustrations that once seemed personal can appear more impartial. The mind grows less eager for conflict, finding the capacity to pause before responding. The enchantment lies in how a nap halts the accumulation of weariness, which frequently nudges the mind towards hasty conclusions. It also allows your body a chance to ease away from stress chemistry and move back toward its baseline state. It can be likened to the moment one sets down a backpack that had been unknowingly pressing into their shoulders. As you grasp it once more, the heft remains unchanged, yet your stance has improved. Naps are intriguing, as they reveal that emotional skill extends beyond mere character. At times, it manifests as energy. With a rested brain, accessing self-control becomes a more attainable endeavor. The pangs of hunger can sway emotions toward the negative, giving rise to the well-known hunger-fury state phenomenon. The feeling of hunger transcends mere physical sensations in the stomach. This represents a transformation within the whole framework, steering one's thoughts towards a sense of urgency and annoyance. When the body craves sustenance, it often loses its appreciation for subtlety. Patience diminishes. Minor delays can come across as disrespectful. A seemingly innocent remark can carry a surprising edge. This occurs as hunger alters the equilibrium of signals that assist in maintaining steadiness, encompassing blood sugar stability and stress hormones that prompt you to take action. When one is in a state of hunger, the mind often leans towards immediate answers and straightforward understandings, creating a challenging environment for courteous dialogue. That is why one might feel oddly theatrical about a small annoyance just before a meal. What quietly draws the attention here is the rapid shift of mood that occurs after one has a meal. It may resemble emerging from a tempest that raged solely within oneself. Hunger serves as a poignant reminder that emotions are deeply rooted, not merely ephemeral thoughts. They exist as physical forms, each holding their own perspectives. When the body senses danger, even in the absence of it, it opts for impatience. Engaging in exercise has the potential to elevate one's mood through alterations in brain chemistry and enhancements in blood circulation. At times, the quickest method to alter one's emotional state involves navigating the body through different spaces. Exercise transcends mere energy expenditure. It transforms the environment in which the mind is immersed. The flow of blood intensifies, the chemistry of stress may alter, and the brain secretes compounds that foster feelings of pleasure, drive, and tranquility. Thus, a brisk walk has the power to transform a restless mind into one that is clearer, even when the circumstances of your day remain unchanged. Engaging in exercise fosters a feeling of empowerment. One is not confined by the emotion. One is engaged in an activity. That alone has the power to alleviate feelings of helplessness and discontent. A narrative effect is present as well. As one moves, the brain gathers proof of its own ability to act, which can render challenges less daunting. Even a subtle shift can transform the internal atmosphere. It does not serve as a remedy for all issues, nor is it an ethical obligation. It stands as one of the most dependable mechanisms the body possesses for shaping emotion from external sources. At times, it is the movement of the body that can uplift the spirit more than any deep contemplation. The way one holds their body can affect their feelings by changing their breath and the tightness in their muscles. Your body continually communicates with your brain, providing insights about the nature of each moment you experience. When one slumps, the chest compresses, breath often becomes shallower, and muscles signal fatigue or defeat. When one sits tall, the lungs find more space, the neck experiences a different kind of relaxation, and the body conveys a more subtle message of readiness. This does not imply that posture can dictate happiness. Your posture can influence the initial conditions of your emotional state. A straightforward method allows for testing. Consider curling inward as you reflect on a challenging conversation. Then envision the same dialogue while remaining grounded and open. The thoughts might echo one another, yet the emotions can transform. The way one carries themselves influences the reactions of those around them, creating a cycle that intertwines with feelings. A slumped posture may lead to diminished engagement, whereas an upright posture can foster greater involvement. In this manner, posture serves as both a social indicator and a personal expression. It is intriguing how something as quiet as a spine can alter the narrative your nervous system conveys regarding safety, confidence, and potential. Emotional responses vary among cultures, even when observing the same facial expression. A smile, a gaze, a glance downwards. The meanings of these can vary significantly based on the context in which one has experienced social life. In one culture, direct eye contact may convey a sense of honesty and engagement. In another context, it may come across as disrespectful or aggressive, particularly towards elders or those in positions of authority. That implies that the same facial expression can convey warmth in one context and present a challenge in another. Your mind perceives more than just the expressions of a face. It reflects the principles that shaped your upbringing. That is why travel can initially evoke a whirlwind of emotions. One may interpret kindness as romantic interest or perceive politeness as aloofness, merely due to the unfamiliarity of the social norms at play. As time passes, individuals frequently acquire new emotional vocabularies, becoming attuned to subtle signals such as proximity, timing, and tone. It serves as a lovely reminder that emotion is shaped by both our biology and our experiences. While faces may be a commonality among all, the interpretations of their meanings are shaped through the discussions and agreements of various communities. In certain cultures, a sense of tranquility is held in higher regard than the thrill of exuberance. In certain settings, the perfect atmosphere is not one of boisterous joy, it is unwavering consistency. A serene expression may convey a sense of maturity, self-respect, and dependability, whereas fervent enthusiasm might come across as reckless or juvenile. In those cultures, individuals might discover the art of containing joy, allowing it to flicker softly like a candle, rather than erupting like fireworks. This influences the ways in which families commemorate, how friends express admiration, and the manner in which leaders are anticipated to communicate. A person may experience profound joy while expressing it softly, as the reward from society favors a calm demeanor. That does not imply they experience any less joy. It signifies that they have learned that maintaining emotional equilibrium safeguards the community. In the midst of this, cultures that thrive on vibrant energy might perceive tranquility as a sign of disinterest or dissatisfaction, despite it genuinely reflecting approval. This distinction has the potential to lead to misunderstandings in professional environments and personal relationships across various cultures. Once it is noticed, emotional values begin to resonate in everyday behavior. The intensity of emotion does not equate to the emotion itself. It reflects the aesthetic favored by a particular culture. The way languages categorize emotions influences the manner in which individuals articulate their feelings. Certain languages possess terms for feelings that others can only articulate through elaborate explanations. When a language assigns a name to a feeling, it becomes simpler to recognize and to communicate. The term functions as a vessel. It distinguishes that emotion from those around it, allowing it to emerge as a distinct entity rather than a mere haze. This illustrates how individuals can encounter a fresh emotional term and instantly resonate with it, thinking, "Oh, that reflects my experience." The experience existed, yet the map remained absent. Various languages establish boundaries in distinct locations. What one language perceives as a single emotion, another may interpret as multiple feelings. This transforms the way individuals narrate their personal experiences, seek assistance, and understand disputes. Language does not create emotion from thin air. Rather, it has the power to refine our focus and recollection. It influences what can be articulated. Once a feeling is articulated, it becomes more manageable. Individuals have the capacity to enhance their ability to recognize emotions through dedicated training. Understanding emotion is an acquired skill rather than an inherent talent. While some individuals possess an innate sensitivity, a significant number experience remarkable growth as they hone their ability to recognize the appropriate signals. Training frequently starts with a deliberate deceleration. Rather than attempting to interpret the entirety of a face in one glance, one begins to observe particular changes, such as the tightness around the mouth, the rapidity of blinks, or an unexpected calmness in the body. One also learns to examine their assumptions. A neutral expression does not always signify anger. Silence does not always equate to sorrow. Through consistent effort, individuals improve their ability to pose gentle, clarifying questions instead of resorting to assumptions. This ability holds significance as it transforms connections. When one accurately observes that another is overwhelmed, rather than being rude, the response is filled with patience instead of defensiveness. When one observes that excitement is concealed beneath nervousness, it becomes possible to foster rather than disregard. Recognizing emotions enhances leadership, parenting, and teamwork. It resembles the experience of acquiring a second language that is communicated in hushed tones by all around. As one becomes more fluent, the likelihood of unintentionally causing conflict diminishes. When one is sleep deprived, the ability to recognize emotions may diminish. When one is deprived of sleep, the mind begins to seek out easier paths. It loses its clarity in interpreting nuanced social signals, which can skew your emotional landscape. A weary mind might perceive a neutral expression as unfriendly or completely overlook signs of warmth. One reason late-night arguments can feel particularly intense is due to the heightened emotions involved. The response is not merely about the subject at hand. It reflects a diminished capacity to discern underlying intentions. The lack of sleep diminishes one's patience, leaving little opportunity to pause and reassess one's understanding. The outcome presents a precarious blend. people are misread more frequently, and self-correction occurs less often. Even minor misinterpretations can escalate significantly. A coworker appears serious, leading you to believe they might be annoyed. Your response is icy, and the entire interaction becomes rigid. The following day, after a period of rest, the same face could appear merely concentrated. It is enlightening to realize the extent to which emotional intelligence is rooted in fundamental recovery. Rest serves a purpose beyond mere rejuvenation. It enhances the precision of our connections with one another. Bonding warmth hormone has the ability to enhance trust, though its effects are not uniform across all individuals. Bonding warmth hormone is frequently referred to as a bonding chemical, and it indeed fosters a sense of closeness. It has the potential to deepen the sense of connection during moments of touch, caregiving, and shared safety. However, it does not inherently lead to a universal increase in kindness among individuals. In numerous studies, the effects that enhance trust are influenced by context, particularly the sense of belonging to a group. It has the potential to enrich loyalty, creating a beautiful bond within friendships and families, while simultaneously defining clearer boundaries between us and them. That transforms bonding warmth hormone from a moral potion into an enhancer of relationships. It enhances the existing social priorities that are already in motion. A safe and inclusive environment fosters a sense of openness. When the surroundings seem at risk, it can foster a sense of guardianship. This is intriguing, as it reveals that trust transcends mere choice. It is also a reaction to the sense of belonging that is felt. Grasping this concept can ease the harshness of self-criticism. Being close to certain individuals while exercising caution with others does not necessarily equate to hypocrisy. It is frequently a biological system, fine-tuned through experience. Motivation spark. Chemical encompasses motivation and learning, extending beyond mere pleasure. Motivation spark chemical is frequently held responsible for the quest for pleasure, yet its more profound role lies in steering pursuit and facilitating learning. It ascends when an endeavor appears worthwhile, when an objective seems attainable, or when you are on the brink of acquiring new insights. This is the reason motivation spark chemical can surge during the processes of searching, planning, and anticipating, rather than solely during the act of obtaining. It reinforces lessons in the mind by emphasizing what was significant. When an action results in a more favorable outcome than anticipated, motivation spark chemical serves as a signal to remember this route. When an outcome falls short of expectations, the signal shifts, leading to a modification in future actions. This transforms motivation spark chemical from merely a reward into an instructive guide, illuminating the path ahead. This is also the reason why new experiences can invigorate us. Novel encounters provide intriguing forecasts to explore, and motivation spark chemical thrives on anticipation. In the realm of emotions, navigating this can be quite challenging. One can find themselves drawn to the pursuit of reassurance, the quest for approval, and the hunt for the next thrilling experience, even when the fulfillment is fleeting. Grasping the concept of motivation spark chemical reveals the reasons behind the pleasurable nature of desire and the necessity for distinct habits to achieve a state of serene satisfaction. Stress hormones have the ability to focus attention on threats and uncertainties. In moments of stress, the mind transforms into a confined corridor, presenting only a single exit. The narrative circles back to a familiar concern, a recurring danger, an unresolved inquiry. Stress hormones assist the body in gearing up for challenges, yet they also affect attention, causing potential threats to emerge prominently, akin to vivid red signs. This may prove beneficial in genuinely perilous circumstances. In contemporary existence, it frequently focuses on emails, social anxieties, financial concerns, or health issues. The mind begins to search for potential pitfalls, subsequently interpreting that search as confirmation that something is amiss. Thus, uncertainty takes on a persistent quality. One might find themselves revisiting a message, replaying a conversation, or repeatedly checking information in search of clarity that seems elusive. However, the verification can intensify the cycle. The more one gazes upon danger, the more danger reveals itself. This is why stress can seem like a filter that casts a shadow over all it encounters. Finding a way forward frequently requires altering the signals your body sends, rather than solely focusing on the thoughts in your mind. As stress hormones decrease, the focus can expand once more, and the world ceases to appear as a mere list of dangers. The fear alarm center may respond even before the cortex completes its processing. At times, the body reacts with surprise even before the mind comprehends the source of that surprise. A loud sound pierced the air, a sudden movement caught the eye, and an unfamiliar shadow loomed, causing muscles to tense in an instant. This occurs in part due to the fear alarm center's ability to initiate swift alarm reactions based on coarse, quick information, bypassing the need for thorough analysis. It resembles an early warning siren that favors false alarms rather than overlooking potential threats. The cortex, responsible for more nuanced interpretation, arrives slightly later, bringing with it the necessary context. At that moment, one comes to understand that it was merely a fallen item, an innocuous presence, or perhaps a jacket resting on a seat. This timing difference may seem like a betrayal by your body, yet it is, in truth, a clever design for survival. The swift response creates an opportunity for reflection. The measured interpretation contemplates the next course of action. This sheds light on the compelling nature of phobias and panic. The alarm blares, and thoughts race through your mind, searching for a justification for the noise. The challenge lies in understanding the importance of the alarm while not following it without question. One can recognize the rise while remaining patient for the complete narrative. The thought guide region enables individuals to select responses rather than relying on instinctive reactions. A part of oneself exists that can find stillness, even amidst the clamor of emotion. The thought guide region plays a crucial role in planning, inhibiting impulses, and maintaining multiple perspectives simultaneously. It serves as a guide, allowing one to experience anger while maintaining a thoughtful demeanor in conversation. It is what enables one to experience fear, yet still move purposefully ahead. In that instant, it may seem as though a gap is formed between the ignition and the response. That space is where decisions thrive. As the thought guide region succumbs to fatigue from stress, hunger, or overload, reflexes begin to dominate with greater ease. One reflects on the words spoken with a sense of remorse. Your interpretations are swift and severe. The broader perspective slips from your mind. With support, one finds greater flexibility. One might reflect on the outcomes. One can envision the inner landscape of another individual. You have the power to choose your identity, transcending the emotions of the present moment. One reason that routines which lessen cognitive strain can enhance emotional well-being. It is not about losing one's emotions. It revolves around enhancing one's ability to guide emotions in alignment with personal values. Even when one appears composed, the act of suppressing emotions can lead to heightened stress within the body. Some individuals master the art of presenting themselves as perfectly okay. The voice remains unwavering. The expression remains unchanged. The dialogue remains courteous. Yet within, the struggle to suppress emotions can cause the body to labor intensely. Silence does not equate to tranquility. Control demands energy, and with it comes a price. When one suppresses anger, fear, or sadness, the nervous system may remain in a state of activation, even as their outward demeanor appears calm. As time passes, it may begin to feel like one is bearing a hidden burden, for the emotion lingers on, refusing to fade away. It gradually transitions into muscle tension, shallow breathing, and a persistent feeling of being on alert. Socially, suppression can lead to unintended consequences. Those nearby might perceive a sense of separation and think they have erred, leading to increased tension. The alternative does not involve chaotic eruptions. It is an expression of skill, akin to identifying what is occurring, establishing boundaries, or allowing the body to release in a safe manner. Genuine calm often carries a gentler essence than the calm that is contrived. For some individuals, giving a gentle name to what you feel can quietly soften its edges, turning a nameless storm into something you can sit beside with calm understanding. When a feeling remains unspoken, it envelops the space like a thick fog. A sense of unease lingers, elusive and undefined, amplifying its presence in the mind. Identifying a feeling with a specific name can transform how you relate to it. In an unexpected turn, it becomes clear that it is not all that it seems. It holds significance. Frustration stands apart from shame. Disappointment stands apart from dread. That subtle gesture of understanding can foster separation, akin to retreating from a canvas to appreciate its boundaries. The act of naming sparks intrigue. Should you be able to identify it, you may inquire about its desires, the events that sparked its existence, and what it seeks to safeguard. For certain individuals, that change by itself diminishes the intensity of the feeling. The mind ceases its search for worldly explanations, for it has found one. This is not a reliable illusion that succeeds on every occasion. Yet, when it succeeds, it resembles the illumination of a light being switched on, not to eliminate the emotion, but to diminish its terror. An identified feeling transforms into a companion you can engage with. Instead of a tempest you are forced to weather without awareness. A heartfelt apology has the power to soothe anger by re-establishing a sense of predictability. Frustration frequently surfaces when an individual perceives injustice and grapples with the unpredictability of the future. Will they refuse to acknowledge it? Will they attempt it once more? Will safety be a certainty in this relationship? A heartfelt apology can swiftly address those inquiries. It demonstrates an acknowledgement of damage and indicates a shift in forthcoming actions, allowing the mind to ease its defenses. That is why a genuine apology carries a distinct weight compared to mere excuses. Justifications maintain the ambiguity. A sincere apology can also restore dignity. It tells the hurt person, you are not invisible and your experience counts. In that moment, anger can soften because its job is partially done. It was trying to demand acknowledgement and protection. Apologies are powerful because humans are prediction-hungry creatures. We want to know the rules of tomorrow. A clean apology offers a new rule, and the nervous system often responds with immediate relief. This does not erase consequences or repair everything instantly, but it can change the emotional weather from combat to possibility, which is the first step toward rebuilding. Fairness triggers strong emotion, even in very young children. Fairness is not a polished adult idea. It appears early, like a built-in alarm for imbalance. Even young children can react intensely when they see someone get more, cut in line, or change the rules mid-game. The emotion is immediate because fairness is tied to safety. If resources and care are distributed unpredictably, the world feels unstable. That is why unfairness can spark anger, sadness, and a fierce need to correct the situation. It is also why children often become passionate rule keepers. The rules are not just rules. They are a promise. But the social world is understandable. What makes this fascinating is how fairness emotions shape identity. A child who sees fairness upheld learns that cooperation works. A child who sees unfairness rewarded learns suspicion. These lessons can echo for decades, affecting how adults trust systems, handle conflict, and decide whether to share. Fairness is not only morality, it is the emotional foundation of living together. People punish unfairness, even when it costs them personally. Humans sometimes choose justice over advantage, even when the choice stings. In certain experiments and real-life situations, people will give up rewards to prevent someone else from benefiting unfairly. That behavior looks irrational if you only measure gain, but it becomes understandable if you measure the value of the social world. Punishing unfairness sends a message that cheating has a price, which protects the group long term. It can also protect self-respect. Some people would rather lose a little than accept a world where rules mean nothing. This is why unfair deals can trigger a strong no, even when taking the deal would be better than taking nothing. The emotion behind it is offered in a mix of anger and principle, a refusal to be treated as less than equal. The fascinating part is that this instinct can be both noble and dangerous. It can defend the vulnerable, but it can also fuel grudges. Either way, it proves that humans are not only reward seekers, we are rule builders who care about the kind of world our choices create. Trust is emotional, but also built from repeated tiny evidence. Trust rarely arrives as a single dramatic decision. It is assembled from small moments that seem ordinary while they are happening. Someone shows up when they said they would. Someone keeps a secret. Someone admits a mistake without twisting the story. Each moment is a tiny vote that says this person is predictable and safe. Over time, those votes form a feeling in the body. Your shoulders loosen around them. Your mind stops scanning for hidden meaning. Trust becomes a resting place. That is why betrayal feels so shocking. It breaks not only a promise, but a long chain of evidence your nervous system relied on. Trust is also shaped by timing. Quick repairs after missteps can strengthen it, while delays can poison it because silence breeds uncertainty. The fascinating part is that trust is both delicate and durable. A single rupture can damage it, yet consistent care can rebuild it, not through grand speeches, but through the slow, steady proof of everyday behavior. Betrayal hurts because the brain treats it like danger. Betrayal is not only disappointment, it is an alarm that says the map you are using is no longer reliable. When someone you relied on turns, lies, or abandons you, your nervous system can react as if you are physically threatened. Sleep becomes harder. Thoughts become intrusive. Your mind replays clues, searching for what you missed, because it wants to prevent the danger from happening again. Betrayal also attacks the sense of reality. If this person was safe yesterday and unsafe today, what else might change without warning? That uncertainty can make the world feel unstable for a while, even in unrelated situations. The pain is intense because connection is not just emotional decoration. It is part of how humans survive. Losing trust can feel like losing ground under your feet. Yet betrayal can also reveal something important. Your brain is not overreacting. It is protecting you from repeating a pattern that could harm you again. Healing often begins when you rebuild a reliable map, either with new boundaries, new relationships, or a clearer understanding of what you will and will not accept. Humans sense social rank shifts and feel it in the body. A tiny change in how someone speaks to you can land like a physical push. One day you feel included, the next you feel talked over, and your stomach notices before your mind explains it. This sensitivity comes from how deeply we track status and safety in groups. A raised eyebrow, an interrupted sentence, a chair placed slightly farther away, these can signal that your position has shifted. The body answers with heat, tension, or a sudden urge to prove yourself. What makes this so fascinating is how fast it happens, even in polite settings where nobody says anything openly. Your nervous system reads rank like weather, because rank once determined access to protection and resources. You can even feel relief when status improves, not because you became vain overnight, but because the body interprets respect as security. Social rank is not only an idea, it is a sensation. Loneliness can heighten threat detection, making faces seem less friendly. Loneliness is not simply the absence of company. It can change how the world looks at you. When you feel isolated, your brain may start scanning for rejection because it is trying to prevent more disconnection. The result can be a quiet distortion. Neutral faces look colder. Unclear messages feel pointed. A delayed reply seems like proof of dislike. This is not because lonely people are unreasonable. It is because the nervous system is on guard, and guarded brains interpret ambiguity as danger. That shift can create a painful loop. You expect exclusion. You withdraw. Others read that withdrawal as distance, and the gap grows. What makes this especially heartbreaking is how invisible it is from the outside. A lonely person may look calm while their mind is constantly measuring social risk. Understanding this can add tenderness to everyday interactions. A small, warm gesture can matter more than you think because it interrupts the threat scan with evidence of welcome. Touch can reduce distress by activating safety pathways. A steady hand on the shoulder can calm a storm that words cannot reach. Touch carries a direct message to the nervous system, one that does not require explanation. It can signal you are protected, you are seen, you are not facing this alone. That is why a hug can soften grief, why holding hands can steady fear, and why a gentle pat can soothe a startled child. The body reads safe touch as evidence of connection, and connection often lowers the urge to brace for danger. What makes touch fascinating is how specific it is. Not all touch comforts. It must feel wanted and safe, or it can do the opposite. But when it is welcome, it can change breathing, heart rhythm, and muscle tension quickly, like turning down a loud alarm. Touch also creates a shared rhythm, two bodies syncing in pressure and timing. In that sync, distress often loses some of its sharpness. Eye contact can intensify emotion by boosting attention and arousal. Eye contact is not just looking, it is a meeting. When two people lock eyes, attention narrows, and the moment becomes heavier with meaning. A compliment feels warmer, an insult feels sharper, silence feels louder. This happens because eye contact signals relevance, and relevance wakes up the nervous system. It tells your brain, pay attention. Something important is here. That is why some people avoid eye contact when they feel vulnerable. It can feel like being seen too clearly, too quickly. Eye contact can also create connection without words. In a crowded room, a single glance can offer reassurance, invite play, or warn someone to stop. It is fascinating, but the same action can feel intimate or threatening, depending on context. With a friend, eye contact can feel like home. With a stranger in a tense situation, it can feel like a challenge. Your eyes are not only windows, they are signals, and the body listens. A familiar voice can calm the nervous system quickly. There are voices that your body recognizes as shelter. You hear them, and your shoulders drop a little, even if the day is still hard. That calming effect is not only emotional, it is learned safety. Over time, certain voices become linked with comfort, help, and steady presence. So the brain treats their sound as evidence that things may be okay. This is why people call home when they feel overwhelmed, even if they do not know what to say. The voice itself becomes the medicine. A familiar voice also carries signature rhythms. The pauses, the softness, the way certain words are shaped. And those patterns can guide your breathing back toward calm. It is intriguing how comfort can traverse the air. Without touch or visual cues, only vibration and memory remain. This explains why harsh voices can evoke such strong reactions. The nervous system recognizes those who have provided safety, reacting even before the first sentence is complete. When individuals reflect each other's fervor, the situation can intensify dramatically. Disputes frequently escalate, not due to a shift in subject matter, but rather because the dynamics of the conversation evolve. One individual constricts their voice, while the other responds with a more cutting tone, and in an instant, the space around them seems to shrink. Every reaction serves as a signal, indicating that peril is increasing, prompting both nervous systems to quicken their pace. The volume increases. Interruptions increase in number. Curiosity fades away. This reflects an emotional resonance, not through the mere repetition of words, but by capturing the depth of feeling. Your body perceives their warmth and concludes that you must elevate your own to be acknowledged or safeguarded. The tragedy lies in the fact that the escalation appears to make sense from within. Every individual believes they are reacting to the other's hostility, yet both are perpetuating the same cycle. Conflict can transform into a spectacle where retreating seems akin to defeat. What disrupts the cycle is frequently an unforeseen gentleness, a more measured response, an inquiry rather than a statement, a fleeting moment of silence that conveys authority. That pause may seem daunting, yet it holds great strength. The shift in rhythm transforms the entire essence. Hope does not equate to denial. It serves as a plan for perseverance. Hope is frequently misinterpreted as the act of feigning that all is well. True hope stands apart. It is the choice to continue onward despite the unknowns that lie ahead. Hope embodies the potential for transformation, inviting change without requiring assurances. This creates a compelling emotional instrument, as it provides purpose to effort. In moments of despair, individuals may cease their efforts, not out of indolence, but rather from sheer fatigue. Hope serves as a delicate connection between the present and the future, a pathway that can support you through suffering, anticipation, and anxiety. It possesses a practical nature. Hope encourages the mind to explore possibilities rather than becoming paralyzed. It maintains a level of engagement that allows for the recognition of assistance, the willingness to embrace support, and the readiness to move forward. The quiet nature of hope is what makes it so captivating. It requires no extravagant assurance. At times, hope manifests in the act of rising, making a single decision, and choosing not to allow the narrative to conclude at its most challenging point. Humor has the power to transform fear by altering the narrative's significance. Fear transforms the world into a landscape of danger. Humor reshapes the landscape. While it does not eliminate the risk, it alters the significance of the moment. And significance is what fear thrives on. A joke has the power to transform a daunting issue into something more manageable, as it shatters the weight of seriousness that renders fear overwhelming. Humor provides a feeling of mastery over situations. Should laughter find its way to you, it signifies that you are not entirely ensnared. You are witnessing, not merely enduring pain. That distance has the power to soothe the body and rekindle the mind's clarity. Humor serves a social purpose as well. Within a concerned gathering, a single well-timed jest can ease the tension, serving as a reminder of their unity. The intriguing aspect is that humor frequently emerges precisely at the most challenging moments, serving as a release mechanism. The mind acknowledges the peril, yet it chooses not to be wholly defined by it. Reframing does not equate to denial. It embodies strength with a cheerful demeanor. Emotional habits develop, allowing certain feelings to surface more readily. When one finds themselves repeatedly falling into the same mood in a familiar setting, it becomes evident that an emotional habit is at play. The brain thrives on efficiency, crafting pathways that connect cues and states seamlessly. A certain chair is imbued with a sense of anxiety, as it has been the site of your past concerns. A particular hour of the day is associated with a sense of weight, as it tends to be the moment when stress reaches its highest point. Ultimately, the sensation comes swiftly, reminiscent of a well-known melody beginning with its initial note. These habits do not define one's fate. Yet, these are genuine pathways that grow more refined through consistent practice. It is indeed surprising that emotional habits can also develop in response to positive states. Certain individuals cultivate their nervous system to ease as they prepare tea, venture outdoors, or initiate their evening rituals. The cue transforms into an entrance to tranquility. Transforming an emotional habit frequently starts with recognizing the trigger, followed by taking a small, distinct action right from the beginning. This small alteration disrupts the automatic process, presenting the mind with an alternative choice. The brain anticipates emotions by drawing comparisons between the present and previous experiences. A subtle question lingers in the depths of your mind. What does this scenario resemble? It connects the current moment to past experiences, setting the stage for an emotional reaction before you fully grasp the unfolding events. A warm smile from an unfamiliar face can evoke a sense of security, especially when past experiences suggest that smiles often signify goodwill. A smile that once brought warmth may now evoke doubt, shaped by a past where joy was frequently accompanied by unforeseen consequences. This illustrates how two individuals can perceive the same environment in vastly different ways. Their minds draw upon distinct collections of patterns. Forecasting can indeed lead to peculiar errors. One might experience anxiety before a meeting that is truly supportive, as the body recalls past meetings that were fraught with tension. The feeling emerges as a foretelling rather than a conclusion. Once this is observed, feelings can be regarded as hypotheses. Their predictions about the future unfold, molded by the echoes of the past. At times, the intuition proves to be insightful. At times, it may feel like it has lost its relevance. What quietly draws the attention here is the brain's ability to continuously adapt as it receives new evidence, suggesting that emotional transformation can occur even when initial reactions seem instinctive. Chronic stress can diminish enjoyment, leading to a condition known as joy fade condition. As stress lingers, like a persistent background noise, the vibrancy of the world can begin to fade. What once brought a sense of fulfillment, music, food, conversation, and even rest, now seems strangely lacking in depth. This should not be mistaken for laziness, nor should it be seen as a lack of gratitude. The nervous system may be safeguarding itself by diminishing the sensitivity to reward. Chronic stress maintains the body in a constant state of alertness, and this state of alertness comes at a high cost. As time passes, the brain tends to focus more on identifying threats rather than seeking enjoyment, since the latter does not contribute to survival in critical situations. The tragedy lies in the fact that when the emergency persists indefinitely, the system of rewards remains silent. It is often depicted as existing behind a transparent barrier, observing life unfold without fully experiencing its richness. The encouraging aspect is that mundane enjoyment is not necessarily everlasting. As safety returns, sleep improves, and stress decreases, the brain begins to gradually relearn the concept of reward. Small, enjoyable moments, softly repeated, can transform into signals that it is safe to embrace joy once more. During overwhelming experiences, inner feeling block can serve as a form of protection. At times, the most unexpected response to an intense situation is a profound sense of emptiness. One might anticipate an outpouring of emotion or a surge of fear. But what unfolds is a profound stillness, as though the mind has retreated into itself. This may manifest as inner feeling block, a mechanism employed by the brain to avert overwhelming experiences. In moments when pain, fear, or shock overwhelm the system's capacity to cope, the act of shutting down emotions can serve as a temporary safeguard. It enables one to accomplish necessary tasks, make phone calls, manage logistics, and navigate through the day. The numbness does not signify a lack of care. In numerous instances, it serves as evidence of your deep concern, leading your nervous system to treat emotions as a limited commodity. As time passes and safety improves, emotions tend to resurface in waves, occasionally ignited by something seemingly insignificant, such as a song or the stillness of a quiet room. The postponed return may lead to some confusion, yet it signifies the lifting of protection. Feeling numb does not signify the conclusion of one's emotional journey. It represents a moment of stillness initiated by a mechanism aimed at maintaining your operation. Some individuals shed happiness overflow tears as their emotions overflow. At times, joy comes with such overwhelming force that the body utilizes the mechanism of tears to express it. Such moments can unfold during reunions, weddings, unexpected acts of kindness, or when a long-held fear finally transforms into a sense of relief and gratitude. The nervous system lacks a dedicated channel solely for the experience of happiness. Crying serves as one of the few powerful release valves available. As arousal intensifies, the rhythm of breathing shifts, the chest constricts, and tears may form as the body endeavors to manage the overwhelming wave. It may seem unusual to shed tears when all appears well, yet those tears can reveal the significance of the moment. Often, tears of happiness emerge when intertwined with other emotions, such as vast wonder feeling, gratitude, or the abrupt awareness of what might have been lost. They emerge when the body is finally permitted to cease its tension. The tears reveal a deeper truth, not merely a veil for sorrow. They represent the nervous system, breathing out through their gaze. Anger can serve as a shield for fear, functioning as a protective layer of emotion. Anger possesses a powerful and purifying quality, rendering it an enticing facade. Fear reveals its fragility. It acknowledges the possibility of pain. Anger embodies strength, a readiness to confront and retaliate. For many individuals, the presence of fear often ignites a surge of anger. Yet this emotion proves difficult to endure. A person experiences a sense of threat during a conversation, and rather than expressing fear, their voice becomes steely, and their words take on an edge. The fury transforms into a shield, safeguarding the vulnerable essence within from being laid bare. This is why certain disputes often center around the need for safety, rather than the desire to emerge victorious. The anger serves a purpose, striving to maintain stability when everything feels uncertain. The challenge lies in the fact that armor can instill fear in those who might otherwise offer assistance. Anger creates distance between individuals, amplifying the underlying fears of solitude, rejection, or helplessness. Recognizing the fear that lies beneath anger is akin to discovering a concealed mechanism. Identifying the vulnerability brings the necessity into sharper focus. One can establish limits without turning into a tool for harm. Seeking reassurance is a natural part of the human experience, and there is no need to feel embarrassed about it. Sometimes anger rises like a quiet shield, standing in front of a deeper, softer fear, protecting what feels most fragile inside. Jealousy may stem from doubt rather than mere ownership. Jealousy is often depicted as a desire to possess another, yet it often originates from a lack of clarity about one's position. As uncertainty looms over the security of a bond, the mind begins to search for potential rivals and lurking threats. An innocuous exchange takes on an air of suspicion. A laugh across the room resonates like a call to action. The emotion often transcends the need for control. It frequently revolves around the concept of stability. Jealousy serves as a signal from the nervous system, indicating that this connection holds significance and raises concerns about its safety. Such uncertainty may arise from genuine patterns, conflicting signals, shattered trust, or past scars that have shown you how quickly intimacy can fade away. Jealousy often narrows one's focus, leading to the gathering of evidence that reinforces the fear, while dismissing any evidence that may challenge it. That is the reason it can seem so persuasive. The journey through jealousy frequently leads to understanding. Clear agreements, honest reassurance, and consistent behavior provide the brain with the predictability it seeks. As security rises, jealousy tends to diminish naturally, without the need for coercion. It is striking how numerous feelings become gentler when the unknown ahead loses its enigma. Compassion can be developed as a skill that grows stronger over time. Compassion is not merely a trait one possesses or lacks. It is a quality that can develop through consistent practice. As the brain adapts with focused attention, by intentionally acknowledging suffering, both in yourself and others, and wishing for relief, you cultivate a mental practice that becomes more readily available in the future. As time passes, compassion may evolve into a natural response, resembling an instinctive act of care rather than an uncommon quality. Training frequently starts on a modest scale. One practices with those they already cherish, gradually expanding that warmth outward, discovering how to maintain boundaries while preserving their humanity. Compassion training can transform the way one reacts to personal errors. Rather than resorting to severe self-criticism, one discovers the importance of viewing mistakes as opportunities for growth and compassion. This is significant, as self-compassion frequently influences the speed of your recovery from challenges. Compassion does not equate to endorsing detrimental behaviors. It signifies acknowledging the truth of suffering and reacting with calmness rather than harshness. A cultivated sense of compassion can instill a greater courage within you, as it assures that neither you nor those around you will be left behind in difficult times. Empathy has its boundaries, and burnout can diminish it. Empathy resembles a portal to another person's inner realm, yet that portal may become clouded when one is weary. Burnout frequently diminishes empathy, not due to a loss of warmth, but rather because one's emotional reserves have been exhausted. As the brain reaches its limits, it focuses solely on the essential tasks needed for survival. The emotions of others begin to feel burdensome, and even minor demands can evoke annoyance or a sense of detachment. This situation can be particularly distressing for caregivers, educators, and those who typically take pride in their supportive roles. One might observe a decline in their patience, a diminished capacity to be moved, and a struggle to listen without experiencing a sense of overwhelm. The shift may evoke feelings of guilt, introducing an additional layer of tension. The significant reality is that empathy does not exist as an endless supply. It finds its foundation in sleep, boundaries, time, and a feeling of being nurtured as well. As those foundations are replenished, empathy tends to resurface effortlessly. Experiencing burnout does not indicate a lack of concern. It often serves as evidence that you invested your emotions for an extended period without allowing for adequate healing. Acts of kindness have the power to elevate one's mood, in part by fostering a sense of control and purpose. Acts of kindness resonate on a level that transcends mere niceness. Helping someone allows you to feel a sense of capability in making a difference, and this feeling of agency can uplift your spirits. It stands in stark contrast to helplessness, a state that frequently nurtures feelings of sadness and anxiety. A simple gesture, like holding a door, conveying a considerate message, or providing support, serves as proof that one can shape the emotional atmosphere in their surroundings. Kindness redirects focus beyond oneself, providing a break from the cycle of incessant worry and self-reflection. In that outward focus, the nervous system frequently finds a sense of ease. A subtle transformation of identity is also present. Every kind act contributes to a narrative that defines your identity, and these narratives influence feelings. Individuals who perceive themselves as supportive frequently experience greater stability in times of stress, as they retain the ability to influence their actions despite being unable to dictate the results. Kindness does not serve as a remedy, nor should it be a means to overlook one's own needs. It is indeed captivating how something so straightforward can transform one's inner state, not by any enchantment, but through the experience of engaging actively with the world. Unexpected events capture focus, priming the mind for rapid learning. Unexpected events capture focus, priming the mind for rapid learning. It represents a mental shift, drawing all available resources toward an unforeseen outcome. For a brief instant, the familiar routine falters, as the mind craves fresh insights in that very moment. A plot twist can prompt you to sit up straighter, while a sudden shift in someone's tone can lead you to replay the last few moments in your mind. Astonishment serves not merely as an emotion, it acts as a swift system for refreshing one's understanding. It creates an opportunity for new insights by momentarily setting aside preconceived notions, akin to erasing a chalkboard. This is also why the element of surprise can evoke a sense of excitement or discomfort, contingent upon the subsequent events. When the result is secure, astonishment transforms into joy. If the outcome is perilous, astonishment transforms into concern. Regardless of the path taken, it hones your abilities. The present moment resonates more profoundly than what has come before. When applied with care, surprise possesses the ability to facilitate the formation of new habits, as it disrupts the existing pattern just enough to allow a new one to take hold. The sensation of curiosity brings pleasure, as it hints at the potential for future rewards. Curiosity brings a sense of pleasure, as it hints at the potential for future rewards. It is a curiosity filled with inquiries, and the mind revels in the instant it perceives that an answer could be within reach. The promise generates a comforting tension, drawing focus ahead with an irresistible force. One can sense it when only part of a tale is shared, when a door stands ajar, or when an incongruous detail catches the eye. The mind embarks on a journey from ignorance to understanding, and this journey is inherently fulfilling on an emotional level. Curiosity transforms the perception of effort. When tasks are approached as a journey of discovery, what once felt exhausting transforms into a source of energy. One searches longer, focuses deeper, and tolerates uncertainty, as it feels more like progress than danger. This explains the way in which mysteries captivate individuals, and how puzzles can provide a sense of comfort. Curiosity serves as the spark that transforms the unfamiliar into a welcoming call. It allows for uncertainty to unfold gradually. It assures that significance can be attained, and that assurance can resemble a faint glow within the mind. Regret serves as a teacher, revisiting choices to enhance future decisions. Regret serves as a teacher, revisiting choices to enhance future decisions. The mind revisits a crossroads, contemplating the path that was left unexplored. The replay may bring pain, yet it serves as a valuable lesson, as the mind endeavors to refine its guidelines for future encounters. Regret frequently illuminates what truly matters. You feel remorse for the things that conflict with your true self, rather than for those that hold no significance in your life. Thus, one individual may easily overlook the same mistake, while another may bear its weight for years. Regret possesses an unusual clarity. The narrative centers around a singular instance, a phrase you uttered, an opportunity you overlooked, a silence you inadequately filled. This focus proves beneficial, as it paves the way for a more defined strategy, such as establishing boundaries sooner or posing the more challenging inquiries. The peril arises when regret transforms into a form of punishment rather than serving as a lesson. In a state of continuous learning, regret emerges as a subtle mentor, imparting wisdom without diminishing one's essence. Comparison can diminish happiness by perpetually shifting the targets. Comparison can diminish happiness by perpetually shifting the targets. The mind glances askance and concludes that one's existence ought to be evaluated in comparison to another's moments of triumph, pace, or fortune. Even when one accomplishes something significant, the quiet voice of comparison may suggest that it holds little value, as another individual possesses more. The whisper saps satisfaction before it can find its place. Evaluating oneself against others diminishes appreciation. Rather than recognizing what is present, focus shifts to highlighting what is absent, and the objective continues to evolve, as there will perpetually be someone leading in a particular domain. The challenge lies in the fact that comparison often appears to be a form of information. It seems sensible, serving as a means to maintain motivation. Yet, the emotional toll can be significant. It has the potential to transform growth into anxiety and success into restlessness. Finding a way forward does not involve ignoring the presence of others. It is transforming the assessment. When one compares oneself to their own progress, values, and effort, the goalposts cease to move further away. Joy re-emerges when it is embraced as sufficient. When individuals find themselves in states of powerlessness or uncertainty, superstitions frequently begin to flourish. Superstitions frequently emerge in times when individuals experience a sense of powerlessness or uncertainty. In moments of uncertainty, the mind instinctively seeks out patterns that offer a sense of control. A fortunate shirt transforms into a protective barrier. A recurring phrase transforms into an enchantment. A simple ritual emerges as a mechanism, a means to navigate a world that remains shrouded in mystery. This does not imply that individuals lack wisdom. The brain seeks to diminish uncertainty, as the presence of uncertainty brings about stress. Superstition provides a quick sense of relief by fostering a feeling of control, regardless of whether that control is real or merely a figment of the imagination. It can also craft a narrative that softens the harshness of randomness. The challenge lies in how superstition can grow, requiring increasingly elaborate rituals and avoidance strategies, ultimately leaving the individual feeling ensnared by their own safeguards. It had unveiled a delicate aspect of human emotion. Individuals seek security. They seek a sense of certainty. In moments of uncertainty, they occasionally create it from a tapestry of symbols. Grasping this concept transforms ridicule into empathy. A superstition frequently serves as a coping mechanism dressed in disguise. Ritual grief practices enable communities to collectively bear their emotional burdens. Ritual grief practices enable communities to collectively bear the weight of their emotions. When the burden of loss becomes too great for a single heart to bear, collective efforts lighten the load. Funerals, memorial meals, candles, songs, and quiet gatherings provide a framework for sorrow, allowing it to be held in a way that prevents it from overwhelming everything at once. Such practices provide individuals with an alternative when language falls short. A gentle embrace, a moment of quiet understanding, a reassuring touch on a shoulder. These form a communication that conveys, "You are not isolated in this experience." Ritual grief serves as a means of granting permission. It conveys to the grieving individual that expressing tears is permissible, that memories are cherished, and that love is acknowledged. In the absence of ritual, grief may turn into a solitary experience, as individuals often find themselves unsure of how to engage with it. Through ritual, the community discovers a guiding path. All are aware of their positions, the items to carry, and the ways to express concern. The intriguing aspect is that ritual does not eliminate suffering. It evolves into a bond. It transforms individual pain into a collective experience. And this collective experience stands as one of the most ancient sources of solace for humanity. Narratives evoke feelings as the mind recreates the experience. Narratives evoke feelings as the mind recreates the experience. As one observes a character navigating peril or affection, the imagination constructs a personal interpretation of the moment, prompting a visceral reaction that underscores its significance. Breathing shifts as tension builds. A warmth spreads through your chest as the reunion unfolds. During betrayal, the tension in your jaw becomes palpable. Although it is recognized as a narrative, the emotions it evokes are still experienced by your nervous system. This is the reason narratives possess the power to both mend and wound. A tender narrative can wrap you in a sense of security. A chilling tale can leave your senses heightened long after it concludes. Narrative creation serves as a form of social technology. It allows an individual to convey an emotional lesson to a wider audience, enabling others to grasp the experience without having to endure it firsthand. One discovers the essence of courage, the price of kindness, the destruction wrought by pride, and the resilience of love. The intriguing aspect is that narratives serve a purpose beyond mere entertainment. They cultivate understanding by allowing you to experience emotions from a different viewpoint. For a time, one inhabits another's inner world, and this experience can transform the way one interacts with real individuals thereafter. Each time memories are recalled, they stir emotions anew. Each time memories are recalled, they stir emotions anew. As the past intertwines with the present, the nervous system tends to awaken echoes of the original emotions, almost as if the body is assessing the relevance of the old lesson once more. That is why a childhood embarrassment can still bring a flush to your cheeks, and why a cherished act of kindness can still bring a glimmer to your gaze. Recall is an act imbued with significance. It is a return. The mind accesses the archive, allowing feelings to pour forth alongside it. This proves to be beneficial as it preserves significant teachings for future reflection. Revisiting painful scenes can be draining, as each encounter rekindles the stress response. The unexpected chance lies in the fact that recollection can, at times, alter the emotional resonance of a memory as time progresses. When an event is recalled in a context of safety and support, the mind may slowly intertwine the past narrative with a sense of new security, easing the hold of the initial pain. This does not alter the past. The emotional context surrounding history is being refreshed. The past remains firmly in its place. However, the body comes to understand that this is not occurring at the present moment. The emotional baseline is influenced by inheritance, yet remains subject to change. Even when raised in the same household, siblings often exhibit remarkably different reactions. Certain individuals possess a heightened sensitivity to stress. Some individuals bounce back more quickly. Some individuals naturally exude a sense of positivity without any effort. A portion of that initial foundation is shaped by the biology you receive, akin to the preset configurations on a newly acquired instrument. Yet, an instrument does not equate to a song. Your foundation evolves through experiences, connections, routines, and the surroundings you inhabit daily. A nurturing community has the power to gradually elevate a low starting point. Chronic strain can subtly pull a high baseline lower. The brain continuously evolves, and emotional patterns can be transformed through consistent signals of safety, significance, and mastery. This illustrates how two individuals with comparable temperaments can experience vastly different emotional journeys as time progresses. In a subtle manner, heredity serves as the opening chapter, rather than the entirety of the narrative. The fluctuations of hormonal cycles can alter emotional sensitivity throughout the month. On certain days, the same remark falls softly, as if it were a feather. On other days, it falls heavily, like a stone. Change is not solely a reflection of weakness or attitude. Hormonal shifts have the power to affect sleep quality, energy levels, appetite, and the intensity of the nervous system's response to stress. For some individuals, emotions rise to the surface at specific moments in the cycle. As if the volume has been amplified, emotions surge more quickly, frustration ignites with less provocation, and the need for solace intensifies. For some, the change manifests as a haze, a feeling of unease, or a diminished emotional resilience. This is intriguing because it has the potential to alter your perception of reality. A concern that seemed under control last week now carries a sense of urgency today. Understanding the pattern does not negate the emotion. It provides depth, akin to weather reports for the inner world. As one observes sensitivity unfold over time, a fresh sense of self-trust often emerges. You come to understand that you are, in fact, consistent. You possess a captivating rhythm. The period of adolescence heightens emotional experiences as the mechanisms for control develop at a later stage. During adolescence, one might experience life as if surrounded by an amplified emotional soundtrack. Joy expands immensely, embarrassment erupts intensely, and rejection can seem like an insurmountable catastrophe. This occurs in part due to the heightened responsiveness of the systems that evoke strong emotions, while the systems responsible for slowing down, planning, and regulating are still in their developmental stages. It resembles possessing a formidable engine while the brakes are still being fine-tuned. This discord may result in hasty decisions, fervent artistic expression, and significant transformations in self-perception. Occasionally occurring within the span of a single week, it can also inspire unexpected bravery in teenagers, as powerful emotions can overshadow their sense of caution. What may appear as an overreaction to an observer can be experienced as an undeniable truth by the one living it. The intriguing aspect is that this intensity transcends mere chaos. This phase of development assists young individuals in distancing themselves from childhood, navigating social realms, and establishing their own values. Intense feelings serve as the catalyst for transformation into a different self. Older adults frequently recall positive emotions with greater clarity than negative ones. As individuals grow older, they often find themselves cherishing the joys of life more profoundly than the sorrows. They might still recall challenging moments, yet the emotional montage frequently takes on a more uplifting tone. A small kindness, a humorous incident, a tranquil afternoon often stand out more vividly than the trivial irritations of daily life. This shift is sometimes called a positive memory bias, and it can change how older adults make decisions, choose relationships, and spend their attention. The brain begins to treat time as more precious, so emotional priorities can change. Rather than pursuing novelty or status, numerous individuals find themselves in search of meaning, tranquility, and connection. That does not mean older adults ignore problems. It suggests that they might find less satisfaction in nurturing resentment as the price seems too steep. What quietly draws the attention here is its potential to transform memory itself. By consistently returning to what is beneficial, one fortifies those connections, allowing the mind to become more adept at navigating back to that place. In a subtle manner, the passage of time can cultivate emotional insight that arises from careful observation. Neutral cues can become associated with fear through the process of rapid learning following trauma. After a frightening experience, the brain can become a detective who never clocks out. A harmless smell, a certain street corner, a type of ringtone, even a particular time of day can start triggering fear because the nervous system connected that cue with danger. The cue might have been present only once, but the emotional learning can be strong because the body prefers false alarms over missed threats. This is why some people feel a surge of panic in situations that look safe to everyone else. The brain is not reacting to the present alone. It is reacting to a pattern it believes predicts harm. What makes this so haunting is that the cue can be subtle, and the person may not consciously know what set them off. The good news is that these links can loosen with healing, safety, and careful retraining. New experiences can teach the nervous system that the cue no longer leads to danger. Recovery often looks like the brain slowly updating its predictions, one calm moment at a time. Phobias can form from one vivid event, or many small ones. A phobia can feel irrational until you understand how the brain learns fear. Sometimes a single intense experience stamps a powerful association, like a snapshot burned into memory. Other times, fear grows from repeated smaller moments, each adding a drop to the same bucket. A child who is startled by a barking dog once may later feel their body tense near any dog. Another child may become afraid after many uneasy encounters, even if none were dramatic. The fear becomes a protective rule, and the nervous system follows it automatically. What makes phobias fascinating is how specific they can be. The brain can attach alarm to one object, one situation, or one sensation, then generalize outward. Avoidance then strengthens the fear, because the person never gets the chance to collect new evidence of safety. Yet phobias can also weaken through careful exposure and support, because the brain is capable of learning safety too. A phobia is not a character flaw. It is fear learning that got too good at its job. Emotions guide moral choices faster than deliberate reasoning. When you witness unfairness or cruelty, you often feel something before you can explain it. That first surge is not just decoration. It can be the engine of moral action. Emotions like compassion, anger, and disgust can quickly label a situation as acceptable or unacceptable, pushing you toward helping, protesting, or withdrawing. Reasoning often arrives afterward to justify, refine, or question the choice. This is why people can argue logically, yet still disagree sharply. They may share facts, but carry different emotional alarms and priorities. Moral emotions also help groups coordinate. A shared sense of outrage can unite strangers. A shared sense of tenderness can inspire generosity. The fascinating part is that emotions can make morality feel obvious, which can be both helpful and risky. Helpful because it motivates protection of others. Risky because quick moral feelings can be hijacked by misinformation or prejudice. The skill is learning to listen to the emotion as a signal of values, then invite reasoning to check the map. Love can feel calming because safe bond signals safety. Love is not only excitement and romance. At its deepest level, it can feel like the system finally unclenching. When someone is reliably there for you, your brain begins to treat their presence as a cue that danger is lower. Breathing slows, muscles release. Even silence feels easier. This is safe bond signal, the connection that transforms an individual into a means of control. A partner's steady hand has the power to bring you peace. The presence of a parent has the power to soothe a child. Contemplating the presence of a trusted individual can indeed ease one's fears. What quietly draws the attention here is the fact that this tranquility develops gradually through steady effort, rather than through dramatic actions. The body discovers safety through consistent evidence. Love possesses a soothing quality, as it alleviates the anxiety of an unpredictable future. When one holds the belief that hardship will not be faced in solitude, the mind can find a sense of ease, no longer needing to remain in a state of constant vigilance. A nurturing love serves as a sanctuary, not by eliminating the tempests of life, but by transforming the sense of solitude experienced within them. Each emotion serves as a piece of information, yet not every emotion delivers a judgment. Emotions emerge with a sense of immediacy, as though they consistently convey the complete reality. Anger demands that someone is at fault. A sense of foreboding looms, as if an unseen threat is on the horizon. Shame compels one to vanish. However, an emotion serves as a message rather than a definitive judgment. It holds insights into needs, boundaries, memories, and predictions, warranting careful consideration. However, it may also be skewed by exhaustion, past traumas, hunger, or misunderstood signals. The significant transformation lies in understanding how to regard emotions as tools on a control panel. A warning light holds significance, yet it does not reveal the precise issue without further inquiry. In moments of stillness, one can inquire about the underlying purpose of the emotion, what it seeks to shield, and the assumptions it may hold. The moment of stillness opens up possibilities. One can honor the signal while still maintaining their own decisions. Here lies the essence of emotional maturity, found not in the suppression of feelings, but in the wise interpretation of them. Emotions serve as a compass, pointing you toward what truly matters, yet it is ultimately you who holds the power to choose the next step. As the gentle journey through emotions draws to a close, a subtle transformation may begin to unfold within you. The journey unfolded as emotions emerged prior to language, revealing how the body retains, anticipates, safeguards, and intertwines. The exploration revealed how the perception of emotion connects individuals and, at times, creates distance between them, not as imperfections, but as timeless signals forged by care, survival, and significance. Emotions emerged not as distractions to flee from, but as heralds navigating through breath, memory, posture, and imagination. Some came in like flickering sparks, while others flowed in like gentle, slow tides. Some brought us comfort, while others offered caution, and beneath them all lay an unwavering truth. The inner world is vibrant, attuned, and profoundly human. Every emotion you experience holds significance. Every emotion has been molded by a tapestry of experiences, biological influences, and a sense of belonging, akin to the traces left behind by a profound journey through the ages. At this moment, there is nothing further for you to grasp or cling to. The reflective moments of the day may start to fade, akin to the gentle dimming of lights in a serene space. Allow your shoulders to relax and your jaw to release its tension. When your breath seems hurried, let it naturally ease into a slower rhythm without forcing it. Envision thoughts gently descending, akin to leaves floating down onto calm waters, each one discovering its own serene spot to linger. If this serene journey resonated with you, perhaps you would think about showing your appreciation through a like, a subscription, or a thoughtful comment below. This part of the night extends its embrace to those who seek solace. Should you find yourself still awake, another video awaits on your screen, poised to lead you further into the depths. However, if sleep beckons at this moment, there is no need to fight against it. Allow the world to ease. Permit the stillness to fulfill its purpose. There is nothing to resolve, no destination to reach. As this serene exploration of your inner emotional landscape gently fades into stillness, carry with you this quiet truth. Your emotions are not storms to conquer, but wise companions, ancient messengers from your body and soul, guiding you towards safety, connection, and growth, even in the darkest nights. Tonight, there is nothing left to fight or fix. Your heart already knows the rhythm of rest. Simply let go and allow it to carry you. If these words have softened your mind or eased you towards sleep, a gentle like, a quiet subscribe, or one thoughtful word below would help more weary souls find this peaceful harbor. For now, let your breath deepen, let your thoughts drift like distant stars, and surrender fully to the healing dark. Sleep deeply, rest completely, and may your dreams be kind. Good night.